ANER is the total number of students of a particular age group who are enrolled at the age-appropriate education level or above, expressed as a percent of the corresponding population group. Primary level. Total enrollment of age group 06-10 years in primary level. 1. ANER adjusted net enrollment rate. The ANER is the total number of students of a particular age group who are enrolled at the age-appropriate education level or above, expressed as a percent of the corresponding population group. Primary level. Total enrollment of age group 06-10 years in primary level. Class and above. Total population of age 06-10 year. Upper primary level. Total enrollment of age group 11 to 13 years in upper primary level. Class 6-8 and above. Total population of age 11 to 13 years. Elementary. Total enrollment of age group 06-13 years in elementary level. Class 1-8 and above. Total population of age 6 to 13 years. Secondary. Total enrollment of age group 14 to 15 years in secondary level class. IXX and above. Total population of age 14 to 15 years. Educational indicators. Glossary of educational terminologies. Definitions commonly used in school education. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 31. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 3. Gender Parity Index GPI. GPI is the ratio of the number of female students enrolled at the primary, upper primary, secondary, higher secondary level of education to the number of male students. Primary level. G of girls at primary level. G of boys at primary level. Upper primary level. G of girls at upper primary level. G of boys at upper primary level. Elementary level. G of girls at elementary level. G of boys at elementary level. Secondary level. G of girls at secondary level. G of boys at secondary level. Higher secondary level. G of girls at HR. Secondary level. G of boys at HR. Secondary level. 4. Gross Access Ratio. GAR. Gross Access Ratio depicts the accessibility of the schools in percentage as per the prescribed neighborhood norms of the state RTE rules Samagra Shiksha scheme. For primary schools, generally GAR is calculated on the basis of availability of primary schools within 1 km of the habitation. For upper primary, it is within 3 km of habitation. GAR at secondary and senior secondary level is calculated on the basis of availability of the schools in the villages, within 5 km and 7 km respectively. The Govt. of India calculated GAR by considering all categories of schools: government, government-aided, private. 5. Gross Enrollment Ratio. GER describes the percentage of total school-going children at a specific level of education: primary, upper primary, elementary, secondary and senior secondary, regardless of age. It includes underage, overage and age-appropriate children enrolled at a particular level. In some cases, GER may be more than 100% due to excess number of underage or overage children enrolled at that level. Primary level. Total enrollment in primary level class. Total population of age 06-10 years. Upper primary. Total enrollment in upper primary level class 6-8. Total population of age 11 to 13 years. Elementary. Total enrollment in elementary level class 1-8. Total population of age 6 to 13 years. Secondary. Total enrollment in secondary level class. Total population of age 14 to 15 years. HR. Secondary. Total enrollment in HR. Secondary level class 11-12. Total population of age 16 to 17 years. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 32. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 6. Net enrollment ratio (NER). NER depicts the percentage of age-appropriate age of admission in the school as prescribed by the appropriate government enrollment of boys and girls at a particular level of education. Primary, upper primary, elementary, secondary and senior secondary. Primary level, total enrollment of age 0610 years in primary level class. Total population of age 0610 years. Upper primary level. Total enrollment of age 11 to 13 years in upper primary level class 6-8. Total population of age 11 to 13 years. Elementary. Total enrollment of age 0613 years in elementary level class 1-8. Total population of age 6 to 13 years. Secondary. Total enrollment of age 14 to 15 years in secondary level class. Total population of age 14 to 15 years. HR. Secondary. Total enrollment of age 16 to 17 years in HR. Secondary level class 11-12. Total population of age 16 to 17 years. Primary to upper primary. New entrant in class 6 for current academic session. Total enrollment and repeaters in class 6 in current academic year. Total enrollment in class 5 for previous academic session. Elementary to secondary. New entrant in class 9 for current academic session. Total enrollment and repeaters in class 9 in current academic year. Total enrollment in class 8 for previous academic session. Secondary to higher secondary. New entrant in class 11 for current academic session. Total enrollment and repeaters in class 11 in current academic year. Total enrollment in class 10 for previous academic session. 7. Transition rate. Refers to the percentage of students moving successfully to the next upward class. 3 major transitional points in the public education system are, when students move from primary to upper primary classes, from upper primary to secondary classes, and from secondary to SR. Secondary classes. Percentage of students advancing from one level of schooling to the next. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 33. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. Grade 1 new enrollment in Grade 2 for current academic session. Total enrollment in Grade 1 for previous academic session. Grade 2 new enrollment in Grade 3 for current academic session. Total enrollment in Grade 2 for previous academic session. Formula is same up to class X. Primary, total no. Of repeaters IV in current academic year. Enrollment in previous academic year. Upper primary. Total no. Of repeaters V8 in current academic year. Enrollment in V8 in previous academic year. Secondary, total no. Of repeaters in current academic year. Enrollment in previous academic year. 11. Repetition rate, proportion of pupils from a cohort enrolled in a given grade in a given school year who study the same grade in the following school year. Primary level, new enrollment in Grade 5. Total enrollment and repeaters in current academic year. Total enrollment in Grade 1 4 years back. Elementary level. New enrollment in Grade 8. Total enrollment and repeaters in current academic year. Total enrollment in Grade 1 7 years back. Secondary level. New enrollment in Grade 10. Total enrollment and repeaters in current academic year. Total enrollment in Grade 1 9 years back. 8. Pupil-teacher ratio PTR as the prescribed number of teachers required over a specific number of pupils in a particular class for primary and upper primary classes. It is mentioned in the schedule of the RTE Act. For higher classes, State Govt. prescribes 9. Promotion rate. Number of children enrolled in a specific grade in a specific year promoted to the next grade in the following year. 10. Retention rate. The retention rate is calculated on the basis of the number of students enrolled in grade 1 4 years back, and out of that, the percentage of students retained in grade 5 minus repeaters, and similarly for other classes. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 34. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. Definitions of the above indicators are being used for calculating UDISE plus data of the Ministry of India. Primary level, total enrollment in primary schools in current academic year. Total number of classrooms in primary schools in current academic year. Upper primary level. Total enrollment in upper primary schools in current academic year. Total number of classrooms in upper primary schools in current academic year. Elementary. Total enrollment in elementary schools in current academic year. Total number of classrooms in elementary schools in current academic year. Secondary. Total enrollment in secondary schools in current academic year. Total number of classrooms in secondary schools in current academic year. HR. Secondary. Total enrollment in higher secondary schools in current academic year. Total number of classrooms in HR secondary schools in current academic year. 12. Student classroom ratio SCR. SCR is defined as the average number of pupils per classroom in a school. At the secondary level, where students may attend several classes depending on the subject area, measurement and comparison of class sizes should be carried out with caution. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 35. Access, equity and inclusiveness. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 36. 13. Children with special needs. CWSN. Any child requiring special attention due to learning disabilities, intellectual disabilities, physical disabilities, or emotional difficulties could be considered as a child with special needs. 14. Gifted children. Children who are gifted are defined as those who demonstrate an advanced ability or potential in one or more specific areas when compared to others of the same age, experience, or environment. Those with high abilities can be nurtured and educated to become proficient. The aim of the education of high ability learners should be transforming high abilities into proficiency. Para 4.43 of National Education Policy, 2020 states, there are innate talents in every student, which must be discovered, nurtured, fostered, and developed. These talents may express themselves in the form of varying interests, dispositions, and capacities. Those students that show particularly strong interests and capacities in a given realm must be encouraged to pursue that realm beyond the general school curriculum. 15. Inclusive education. Inclusive education means that all students, that includes students from socio-economic disadvantaged groups and children with special needs by age appropriate, regular classes and are supported to learn, contribute, and participate in all aspects of the life of the school. Inclusive education is about how we develop and design inclusive infrastructure schools, classrooms as well as inclusive pedagogies programs and activities so that each child can learn and participate together. 16. Indian Sign Language ISL. Sign language is a medium of communication for the hearing impaired. Sign language interpreters translate the oral language into visual manual language to make hearing impaired people understand content information. The Indian Sign Language Dictionary is available in video, text, and audio form on Diksha. Digital content in ISL mapped to syllabus may also be seen on Diksha. Available at web links. 17. Out of school children OOSC as per the RTE Act, children of 6 to 14 years of age who are I. never enrolled in school, or E. dropped out from school, or E. not attending school for a particular period as defined by the states and UTs without informing any reason. Access, Equity and Inclusiveness to Glossary of Educational Terminologies Definitions commonly used in school education. 37. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 18. Persons with disability (POND) as per RPWD Act 2016, POND means a person with long-term physical, mental, intellectual, or sensory impairment which, in interaction with barriers, hinders his full and effective participation in society equally with others. Definitions of 21 disabilities identified under the RPWD Act 2016 of India. Physical disability refers to disability caused due to physical deformities or amputations and is a limitation to person's physical functioning, mobility, stamina, or ability to perform physical actions. 1. Locomotor disability. Locomotor disability means an inability of the bones, joints or muscles leading to substantial restriction of the movement of the limbs. 2. Leprosy cured persons. Leprosy cured person means a person who has been cured of leprosy but is suffering from I. loss of sensation in hands or feet as well as loss of sensation and paresis in the eye and eyelid but with no manifest deformity. E. Manifest deformity and paresis but having sufficient mobility in their hands and feet to enable them to engage in normal economic activity. E. Extreme physical deformity as well as advanced age which prevents him/her from undertaking any gainful occupation and the expression, leprosy cured, shall be construed accordingly. 3. Cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy (CP) means a group of non-progressive neurological conditions affecting body movements and muscle coordination caused by damage to one or more specific areas of the brain, usually occurring before, during or shortly after birth. 4. Dwarfism. Dwarfism is a growth disorder characterized by shorter than average body height. Human beings with adult body height less than 4 feet 10 inches (147.32 centimeters) are considered to be affected with dwarfism. 5. Muscular dystrophy. Muscular dystrophy means a group of hereditary genetic muscle disease that weakens the muscles that move the human body. Persons with multiple dystrophy have incorrect and missing information in their genes, which prevents them from making the proteins they need for healthy muscles. It is characterized by progressive skeletal muscle weakness, defects in muscle proteins, and the death of muscle cells and tissue. 6. Acid attack victim. Acid attack victim means a person disfigured due to violent assaults by throwing of acid or similar corrosive substance. Glossary of Educational Terminologies Definitions commonly used in school education. 38. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. Definitions of 21 disabilities identified under the RPWD Act 2016 of India. Visual impairment refers to decreased ability to see to the extent that causes problems in daily functioning. 7. Blindness. Blindness means a condition where a person has any of the following conditions, after best correction: I. Total absence of sight, or E. Visual acuity less than 3/60ths or less than 10/200ths Snellen in the better eye with best possible correction, or E. Limitation of the field of vision subtending an angle of less than 10 degrees. 8. Low vision means a condition where a person has any of the following conditions, namely, I. Visual acuity not exceeding 6/18ths or less than 20/60ths up to 3/60ths or up to 10/200ths Snellen in the better eye with best possible corrections. Or E. Limitation of the field of vision subtending an angle of less than 40 degrees up to 10 degrees. Hearing impairment refers to decreased ability to listen to the extent that it creates problems in day-to-day functioning. Speech and language disability refers to problems in communication involving hearing, speech, language, and fluency. 9. Hearing impairment, deaf and hard of hearing. Hearing impairment is defined as A. Deaf, means persons having 70 dB hearing loss in speech frequencies in both ears. B. Hard of hearing, means person having 60 dB to 70 dB hearing loss in speech frequencies in both ears. 10. Speech and language disability. Means a permanent disability arising out of conditions such as laryngectomy or aphasia affecting one or more components of speech and language due to organic or neurological causes. Intellectual disability refers to significant impairment in cognitive and adaptive functioning. It causes difficulties in problem solving, reasoning, and learning. 11. Autism spectrum disorder. Means a neurodevelopmental condition typically appearing in the first 3 years of life that significantly affects a person's ability to communicate, understand relationships and relate to others, and is frequently associated with unusual or stereotypical rituals or behaviors. 12. Intellectual disability. A condition characterized by significant limitations both in intellectual functioning, reasoning, learning, problem solving, and in adaptive behavior which covers a range of everyday, social, and practical skills. Mental behavior. Includes mental illness which refers to disturbances in thoughts and behavior that become obstacles in performing activities of daily living. 13. Mental illness. Mental illness means a substantial disorder of thinking, mood, perception, orientation, or memory that grossly impairs judgment, behavior, capacity to recognize reality or ability to meet the ordinary demands of life, but does not include retardation, which is a condition of arrested or incomplete development of mind of a person, specially characterized by subnormality of intelligence. Glossary of educational terminologies. Definitions commonly used in school education. 39. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. Definitions of 21 disabilities identified under the RPWD Act 2016 of India. 14. Specific learning disabilities means a heterogeneous group of conditions wherein there is a deficit in processing language, spoken or written, that may manifest itself as a difficulty to comprehend, speak, read, write, spell, or to do mathematical calculations, and includes such conditions as perceptual disabilities, dyslexia, dysgraphia, dyscalculia, dyspraxia, and developmental aphasia. Examples of specific learning disabilities: dyslexia, difficulty in reading due to problems identifying speech sounds and learning how they relate to letters and words. Decoding. Dyspraxia, the inability to motor plan, to make an appropriate body response. Dysgraphia, difficulty with the act of writing both in the technical as well as the expressive sense. There may also be difficulty with spelling. Dyscalculia, difficulty with calculations. Attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder ADHD. Hyperactivity, distractibility, and impulsivity. Chronic neurological condition. This section includes disabilities caused by chronic neurological conditions. These are caused due to problems in the nervous system of the person. 15. Multiple sclerosis. Multiple sclerosis is an inflammatory, nervous system disease in which the myelin sheaths around the axons of nerve cells of the brain and spinal cord are damaged, leading to demyelination and affecting the ability of nerve cells in the brain and spinal cord to communicate with each other. 16. Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's disease means a progressive disease of the nervous system marked by tremors, muscular rigidity, and slow, imprecise movement, chiefly affecting middle-aged and elderly people, associated with degeneration of the basal ganglia of the brain and a deficiency of the neurotransmitter dopamine. Blood disorders. Includes the disabilities caused by problems in blood or blood disorders. 17. Hemophilia. Hemophilia means an inheritable disease usually affecting only male but transmitted by women to their male child, characterized by loss or impairment of the normal clotting ability of blood so that a minor wound may result in fatal bleeding. 18. Thalassemia. Thalassemia means a group of inherited disorders characterized by reduced or absent amounts of hemoglobin. 19. Sickle cell disease. Sickle cell disease means a hemolytic disorder characterized by chronic anemia, painful events, and various complications due to associated tissue and organ damage. Hemolytic refers to the destruction of the cell membrane of red blood cells resulting in the release of hemoglobin. 20. Multiple disabilities. Multiple disabilities include deafness, blindness, which means a condition in which a person may have a combination of hearing and visual impairments causing severe communication, developmental, and educational problems. 21. Any other category as may be notified by the central government. This is a subject to provision of the Constitution. It will include any other disability whenever notified by the central government. Glossary of educational terminologies. Definitions commonly used in school education. 40. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 19. Priya, the Accessibility Warrior. The comic book named Priya the Accessibility Warrior is the outcome of collaborative efforts of Department of Empowerment of Persons with Disabilities, Divyangjan Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, and Department of School Education and Literacy, Ministry of Education, Government of India. It provides glimpses into the world of a girl named Priya who met an accident and couldn't walk due to plastered leg. The story depicts how she managed to participate in all activities at school, as the school has made efforts to become accessible. In the process, Priya learned the importance of the accessibility, and therefore she takes the pledge of being the accessibility warrior. The comic book is available with Indian Sign Language explanatory videos. The key message of the book is, everyone needs accessibility, accessibility helps everyone. Link is available at Web Links 20. Rehabilitation Council of India (RCI). The mandate given to RCI is to regulate and monitor services given to persons with disability, to standardize syllabi, and to maintain a central rehabilitation register of all qualified professionals and personnel working in the field of rehabilitation and special education. Link of website at Web Links 21. Rights of Persons with Disabilities (RPWD). The RPWD Act was enacted in December 2016. It promotes and protects the rights and dignity of persons with disabilities in various aspects of life: educational, social, legal, economic, cultural, and political. It applies to government, non-government, and private organizations. 22. School mapping. School mapping is a micro-planning exercise, with the specificity which seeks a better match between the supply and demand. It gives a dynamic and prospective vision of how the education service should look in the future, showing its buildings, teachers, and facilities, to enable the implementation of education policies. The term is also used for GIS-based mapping of schools. 23. Special Education Zone. Says NEP 2020 recommends that regions of the country with large populations from educationally disadvantaged SEDGs should be declared Special Education Zones (SEZs), where all the schemes and policies are implemented to the maximum through additional concerted efforts, in order to truly change their educational landscape. Presently, focused implementation is undertaken in aspirational districts and low-performing districts. Glossary of educational terminologies. Definitions commonly used in school education. 41. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 24. Socio-economically disadvantaged group (SEDG). As per NEP 2020, SEDGs are broadly categorized based on gender identities, particularly female and transgender individuals, socio-cultural identities, such as scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, OBCs, and minorities, geographical identities, such as students from villages, small towns, and aspirational districts, disabilities including learning disabilities, and socioeconomic conditions such as migrant communities, low-income households, children in vulnerable situations, victims of or children of victims of trafficking, orphans including child beggars in urban areas, and the urban poor. 25. Eclavier Model Residential Schools (EMRS). The education needs of tribal children in the country are addressed primarily through residential schools. Eclavier Model Residential Schools (EMRS) started in the year 1977–78 to impart quality education to ST children in remote areas in order to enable them to avail of opportunities in higher and professional educational courses and get employment in various sectors. 26. Universal access. Universal provision of school facilities means that school facilities should be provided to all children in the country and that the school be within walking distance from the home of children. Of school facilities means that school facilities should be provided to all children in the country and that the school be within walking distance from the home of children. Quality, curriculum and assessment. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 44. 27. 5+3+3+4 structure. The curricular and pedagogical structure of the curricular framework for school education is recommended by NEP 2020 to be guided by a 5+3+3+4 design. The 5+3+3+4 stages are purely curricular and pedagogical, designed to optimize learning for students based on the cognitive development of children, and parallel changes to physical infrastructure will not be required. The 4 stages under 5+3+3+4 are as follows. The foundational stage 5 years, for ages 3 to 8, for grades including 3 years of preschool to grade 2 consisting of 5 years of O flexible, O multi-level, O play activity-based learning and O the curriculum and pedagogy of EK. The preparatory stage 3 years, for ages 12 to 14 and grades 6 to 8 comprising 3 years of education in order to lay a solid groundwork across subjects, including reading, writing, speaking, physical education, art, languages, science, and mathematics. 3. Quality, curriculum and assessment. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 45. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. Building on the play, discovery, and activity-based pedagogical and curricular style of the foundational stage, will also begin to incorporate some light textbooks as well as aspects of more formal but interactive classroom learning. The middle stage 3 years, for ages 12 to 14 and grades 6 to 8 comprises 3 years of education, building on the pedagogical and curricular style of the preparatory stage, but with the introduction of subject teachers for learning and discussion of the more abstract concepts in each subject or experiential learning within each subject, and explorations of relations among different subjects, will be encouraged and emphasized despite the introduction of more specialized subjects and subject teachers. The secondary stage 4 years, for ages 15 to 18 and grades 9 to 12 comprises of 4 years of multidisciplinary study, building on the subject-oriented pedagogical and curricular style of the middle stage, but with greater depth, greater critical thinking, greater attention to life aspirations, and greater flexibility and student choice of subjects. 28. Alternative Academic Calendar (AAC) and Alternate Academic Calendar (AAC) has been prepared by NCERT during COVID-19 pandemic for learning solutions for grade 1 to 12 for both children having access to a digital device or not having access to a digital device, with a view to addressing the issues related to gaps and/or loss of learning among students. It consists of interesting activities and challenges related to topics themes in the syllabus. Its benefits include, provides a roadmap for continuing teaching learning across the classes and subject areas in the pandemic period. All the activities given in the AAC are based on learning outcomes, hence it rationalizes the curriculum burden. It guides teachers and parents on the conduct of activities with students with digital or without digital devices. It provides guidelines for teachers on using a variety of ICT tools. It guides teachers on assessment activities and developing assessment questions based on learning outcomes. It guides teachers and parents in conducting activities that reduce the stress and anxiety of their children. It provides adequate space for art, health, physical education, and yoga in the calendar in an integrated manner. Available at Web Links 29. Art Integrated Learning ALE is a teaching learning process which is based on learning with various art forms where art becomes the medium of teaching learning, a key to understanding concepts within any subject of the curriculum. Documents are available at the following links. Web Links 30. Assessment is learning. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 46. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. When a student is able to assess herself and her learning progress, and also come up with a strategy herself or jointly with her teacher to imbibe relevant learning, it is considered as assessment as learning. This requires providing opportunities and space to students to critically assess, reflect and analyze their own work during the teaching learning process and identify their strengths and gaps. Students may be encouraged to assess themselves and reflect on peer and group work. 31. Assessment for learning. When the assessment of a student's comprehension and understanding of a skill or competency is embedded throughout the teaching learning process and is used for developmental purposes, it is considered to be assessment for learning. This is used interchangeably with the term formative assessment. This helps teachers not only to understand the learning gaps of each child but also to reflect, review and modify their teaching learning as per the need and learning styles of students. It involves students as partners in planning, transaction, and assessment of the teaching learning process and, thus, involves both giving and receiving feedback by the students. 32. Assessment of learning. At the end of a course term module, when a student is assessed for ranking her achievement against a standard set of learning outcomes, then it is considered as assessment of learning. This is used interchangeably with the term summative assessment. It is used to benchmark students' learning against criteria, process skills, learning indicators and learning outcomes based on identified curricular aims and objectives. It provides comprehensive information regarding the extent of student learning vis-a-vis curricular objectives on all aspects of curriculum including performance in different subject areas. 33. Balvatika, NEP 2020 Para 1.6 has envisaged that prior to the age of 5 every child will move to a preparatory class, or Balvatika, that is, before class 1, which has an EK qualified teacher. The learning in the preparatory class shall be based primarily on play-based learning with a focus on developing cognitive, affective, and psychomotor abilities and early literacy and numeracy. 34. Bilingual education. Bilingual education refers to the use of two languages as mediums of instruction. It enables students to develop comprehensive abilities in a second language in terms of listening, speaking, reading, and writing, whilst still ensuring complete fluency in their first language. 35. Bloom's Taxonomy of Learning Domains. Bloom's Taxonomy, Bloom, Inglehart, First, and Krathwohl, 1956, is one of the most recognized learning theories in the field of education. This comprises 3 learning domains, the cognitive, affective, and psychomotor, and assigns to each of these domains a hierarchy that corresponds to different levels of learning. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 47. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. I. Cognitive, mental skills, knowledge. E. Affective, growth in feelings or emotional areas. Attitude. E. Psychomotor, manual of physical skills, skills. Cognitive, thinking domain. The cognitive domain is focused on intellectual skills such as critical thinking, problem solving, and creating a knowledge base. There are 6 major categories of cognitive as processes, starting from the simplest to the most complex. This domain can be classified into 5 different categories: I. Remembering, E. Understanding, E. Applying, I. V. Analyzing, and V. Evaluating, and V. Creating. Affective feeling domain. An affective domain is one of the 3 categories of Bloom's taxonomy. An affective domain describes various learning objectives among students that highlight a feeling, an emotion, attitude, and a degree of acceptance or rejection. This domain talks about ways in which students respond to internal and external phenomena emotionally. It includes information about their values, things that spark enthusiasm, as well as aspects that motivate them. This domain can be classified into 5 different categories: I. Receiving, E. Responding, E. Valuing, I. V. Organization, and V. Categorization. Psychomotor doing domain. The psychomotor domain encompasses the ability of learners to physically accomplish tasks and perform movement and skills. The 7 major categories are listed from the simplest behavior to the most complex: I. Perception, awareness, E. Set, readiness to act. It includes mental, physical, and emotional sets: E. Guided response, I. V. Mechanism, V. Complex overt response, the skillful performance of motor acts that involve complex movement patterns, V. Adaptation, and V. Origination, creating new movement patterns to fit a particular situation or specific problem. 36. Census-based assessment. Assessing the entire population is called a census. A national assessment in which all, or nearly all, schools and students at a specific grade or age level participate is termed census or population-based. A census-based assessment can provide diagnostic data on each school, help plan interventions, and inform communities' parents about individual school performance. They may also serve to hold teachers, schools, districts, and other responsible actors accountable for their students' learning outcomes. A census-based assessment is required if policy decision makers seek information about all schools in the education system. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 48. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. Sustained and active engagement with every child. Hands-on activity-based learning. Problem solving. Experimentation and demonstration. Peer-to-peer collaborative learning. Culture of beyond textbooks and inquiry-based learning. 37. Child-friendly school, CFS, to be based on the simple premise that schools can and should operate in the best interests of the child. Educational environments must be safe, healthy, and protective, staffed with trained teachers, equipped with adequate resources, and offering conditions appropriate for learning. Please refer to the School Safety Guidelines of the Ministry of Education. Document is available at web links. 38. Child-centric pedagogy. Child-centric pedagogy prioritizes interests, needs, abilities, age, grade, and holistic development of the child. In this pedagogy, the child is regarded as the center of the teaching-learning process. 39. Classroom transaction. Classroom transactions based on lesson plans by integrating real-life situations, keeping in view multidisciplinary learning for the student to be able to attain competency in each area. Teachers shall be empowered to develop their own innovative teaching aids and tools with local resources for making their classroom transactions engaging and joyful. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 49. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 40. Classroom management. Classroom management refers to the wide variety of skills and techniques that teachers use to keep students organized, orderly, focused, attentive, on task, and academically productive during a class. When classroom management strategies are executed effectively, teachers minimize the behaviors that impede learning for both individual students and groups of students, while maximizing the behavior that facilitate or enhance learning. 41. Cluster Resource Center CRCs have been conceptualized to function as academic resource centers with adequate resource reference materials for teachers. Approximately 15 to 18 neighborhood schools are grouped together for optimum monitoring and on-site support to teachers through setting up of a CRC. CRC has one cluster resource coordinator. CRCs are the most critical units for ensuring and evaluating the quality of education at school level on a constant basis and provide timely remedial interventions. 42. Codification of learning outcomes. The learning outcomes for foundational learning have been divided into three developmental goals. Goal 1 HW, Health and Well-being. Goal 2 EC, Effective Communicators. Goal 3 IL, Involved Learners. Each learning outcome has been given a number code for easy identification and referencing. It is important to understand that these numbers are not hierarchical, but these experiences can be provided simultaneously in an integrated way. 43. Cognition. Cognition is defined as the mental action or process of acquiring knowledge and understanding through thought, experience, and the senses. It is in essence, the ability to perceive and react, process and understand, store and retrieve information, make decisions, and produce appropriate responses. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 50. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 44. Community school. Schools open beyond ordinary hours for various purposes for the use of students, their parents, and the community where all members of the society participate. 45. Competency. Competencies are statements that specify what children will know, be able to do, or be able to demonstrate when they have completed or participated in a course or program. 46. Competency-based assessment (CBA). When assessment is undertaken to assess a learner's progress in achieving defined learning goals, competencies, learning outcomes, it is considered as CBA. National Achievement Survey (NAS) is a form of CBA. It is an outcome-based approach to education to ensure proficiency in learning by students through demonstration of the knowledge, skills, values, and attitudes required for dealing with real-life situations at the age and grade-appropriate level. 47. Conducive learning environment. The learning environment should provide children and adults with a sense of well-being, safety and frequent opportunities for interaction. A variety of culturally relevant and meaningful learning materials should be available, including visual displays, books, art supplies, etc. Schools should have access to clean drinking water, nutritious meals, and adequate sanitation facilities. Guidelines on School Safety and Security of Ministry of Education available at https://dcel. Education. Gov. Insights default files update guidelines_SSS. PDF 48. Continuous and comprehensive evaluation. Continuous and Comprehensive Evaluation (CCE) recommended is a school-based system of evaluation by different policy documents from time to time and mandated under Section 29(2) of the Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education (RTE) Act 2009. This is an effective and potent tool to help teachers, parents, guardians, and children themselves take charge of the learning and development. CCE aims at the overall development physical, socio-emotional besides the cognitive of a child and envisages assessment as an integral component of teaching and learning. Document on Continuous and Comprehensive Evaluation (CCE) developed by NCERT available at web links. 49. Curriculum. Curriculum is a set of planned activities which are designed to implement a particular educational aim in terms of the content what is to be taught and the knowledge, skills and attitudes which are to be deliberately fostered together with statements of criteria for selection of content, and choices in methods, materials and evaluation. In reference to the framework above, it would mean the curriculum core and syllabus put together. Curriculum is the central guide for all educators as to what is essential for teaching and learning, so that every student has access to rigorous academic experiences. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 51. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 50. Developmental Goals under Foundational Learning. The NEP 2020 has focused on the holistic development of the child. There are different domains of development like physical and motor development, socio-emotional development, literacy and numeracy development, cognitive development, spiritual and moral development, art and aesthetic development which are interrelated and interdependent. All these domains have been subsumed into 3 major goals. The developmental goals have been further divided into 6 levels corresponding to the 3 years of EK followed by 3 years of schooling. 51. District Resource Groups (DRG) have been formed at the district for the purpose of augmenting necessary suggestions, proposals, adopting appropriate measures and ensuring continuous monitoring and supervision of all activities relating to improvement of quality of education in the state. 52. Early Grade Reading Assessment (EGRA) oral assessment tool designed to measure basic skills for literacy in children in early grades. It focuses on the individual child and is a one-to-one assessment. The tool measures recognition of letters, reading simple words, understanding sentences and paragraphs, and comprehension. The assessment is used to measure children's progress toward learning to read. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 52. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 53. Early literacy. Early literacy does not mean teaching young children how to read. Instead, it means helping children develop the skills they will need to become successful readers. Early literacy activities build rich language skills, vocabulary, self-expression, and understanding comprehension. These skills help children make sense of printed words when they start reading. 54. Early numeracy. Early numeracy is the ability to recognize and apply maths concepts with various skills that begin to develop during the early years and continue through adulthood. Numeracy skills involve understanding numbers, counting, solving number problems, measuring, estimating, sorting, noticing patterns, adding and subtracting numbers, and so on. Children must also develop a set of important thinking and reasoning skills. 55. Energized Textbooks (ETB). ETB is a feature aimed at providing access through QR codes to digital content for various topics in physical textbooks in any time, anywhere mode. On Diksha, books are compiled or curated from school books or any book that conforms to the syllabi of state or central board (CBSE) or any recognized institution or publication, such as from NCERT or SCERT in the said medium of instruction and language. QR codes are tagged to chapters topics in these books. The content behind these QR codes, in the form of audio, video, text, item banks, etc., can be accessed simply with the help of a barcode reader or scanning on Diksha app. Once scanned, the content is available in offline mode as well. 56. Experiential learning. Experiential learning is the process of learning by doing. By engaging students in hands-on experiences and reflection, they are better able to connect theories and knowledge learned in the classroom to real-world situations. 57. First-generation learners refers to the students who are the first in their own family's entire generations so far to go to school and receive an education, or whose parents have attended the formal education system up till the primary level of schooling. 58. Foundational literacy and numeracy (FLN). It is the ability to read with comprehension, meaning and perform basic math calculations by the end of class 3, which covers the age group of 3 to 9 years at foundational level. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 53. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 1. Integrate teaching, learning and assessment. 2. Focus on learning rather than evaluation of achievement. 3. Child-centered and activity-based pedagogy. 4. Focus on competency development rather than content memorization. 5. Non-threatening, stress-free and enhanced participation. 60. Gamification. Gamification is an instructional approach that brings elements of playing a game into a classroom. Teachers may use game elements like gaining points or completing activities to move to the next level to motivate students. Often, gamification's goal is to make learning more fun and engaging for students. 61. Holistic development. Developing a child's intellectual, mental, physical, emotional, and social skills intended to help meet daily life's demands and challenges. As per Para 4.4 of NEP 2020, the aim of education will not only be cognitive development, but also building character and creating holistic and well-rounded individuals equipped with the key 21st century skills. Specific sets of skills and values across domains will be identified for integration and incorporation at each stage of learning, from preschool to higher education. Curriculum frameworks and transaction mechanisms will be developed for ensuring that these skills and values are imbibed through engaging processes of teaching and learning. 62. Holistic Progress Card (HPC). As per recommendations of NEP 2020, HPC will be developed and will be a holistic, 360-degree, multidimensional report that reflects in great detail the progress as well as the uniqueness of each learner in the cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domains. It will include self-assessment and peer assessment, and progress of the child in project-based and inquiry-based learning, quizzes, role-plays, group work, portfolios, etc., along with teacher assessment. The Holistic Progress Card will form an important link between home and school and will be accompanied by parent-teacher meetings in order to actively involve parents in their children's holistic education and development. The Progress Card would also provide teachers and parents with valuable information on how to support each student in and out of the classroom. 59. Formative Assessment. The formative assessment is a form of continuous assessment during the teaching-learning process which helps to provide continuous feedback. It is based on classroom observations and classroom activities, such as role play, project work, quizzes, group work, assignment work, classroom participation, etc. It helps to improve the teaching-learning process. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used, H's of HPC. Participatory and learner-centric, inclusive. A qualitative feedback builds on self-awareness and self-esteem. Tracks skills and competencies. Interdisciplinary flexible AI-based software. T6. Item bank. An item bank is a repository of test questions, items, and any information pertaining to those items. It refers to the purposeful creation of a database of assessment items to serve as a central repository of all test content, improving efficiency and quality. 67. Kinesthetic learning. Kinesthetic learning links the process of learning to a physical activity. It is a learning style in which the learner has to move around, use his/her senses to learn more effectively. The methods of learning can be further classified into visual learning, auditory learning, and read-write. 68. Learning outcomes. LOS. Learning outcomes are statements that describe the knowledge, skills, and attitudes students should acquire by the end of a particular assignment, class, course, or program, and help students understand why that knowledge and those skills will be useful to them. The combination of knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values form the competencies that are expected to be developed in everyone. They focus on the context and potential applications of knowledge and skills, help students connect learning in various contexts, and help guide assessment and evaluation. Laws for foundational years, elementary and secondary level have been developed by NCERT and senior secondary level drafters prepared. Learning outcomes at foundational stage, web links. Learning outcomes at elementary stage, web links. Other publications. TILUPS 101. PDF. Learning outcomes at secondary stage, web links. Other publications. Learning_outcomes. PDF. Learning outcomes at the higher secondary stage, draft, web links. Publication. Other publications. Draft_law. PDF. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 56. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 10 core life skills as laid down by WHO are self-awareness, critical thinking, decision making, effective communication, coping with stress, empathy, creative thinking, problem solving, interpersonal relationship, coping with emotion. 69. Language or medium of instruction. Languages used to convey a specified curriculum in a formal or non-formal educational setting. 70. Large-scale learning assessments. Large-scale learning assessments are system-level assessments which provide a snapshot of learning achievement for a given group of learners in a given year. Examples of large-scale assessments include but are not limited to India's National Achievement Survey, NAS, State Achievement Surveys, ISTIMSS, PIRLS, OECD's PISA, etc. Other large-scale assessments are usually sample-based assessments as against census-based assessments such as board exams in grades X and 12. 71. Learning assessment. Learning assessment is part of evaluating and monitoring education, which refers to a wide range of methods and tools used to evaluate, measure and document learning outcomes and learning progress. It is about gathering information from multiple sources on what learners know and what they can do with what they have learned. It also provides information on the process and context that enable learning, as well as those that may be hindering the learning process. 72. Learning difficulties. Difficulties in acquiring knowledge and skills to the normal level expected of those of the same age, especially because of mental disability or cognitive disorder. 73. Lesson plans. Advanced preparation done by the teacher for the topic which he/she hopes to accomplish with the students during a particular lesson. It may list aims, main teaching points, media and resources, teaching and evaluation methods, etc. 74. Life skills. Life skills are referred to as the ability and readiness to face and solve demands and challenges of everyday life. Life skills are defined as a set of abilities, attitudes and socio-emotional competencies that enable individuals to learn, make informed decisions and exercise rights to lead a healthy and productive life and subsequently become agents of change. Core life skills as laid down by WHO are self-awareness, critical thinking, decision making, effective communication, coping with stress, empathy, creative thinking, problem solving, interpersonal relationship, coping with emotion. 25. Literacy. According to UNESCO's 1958 definition, the term refers to the ability of an individual to read and write with understanding a simple short statement related to his/her everyday life. The concept of literacy has since evolved to embrace several skill domains, each conceived on a scale of different mastery levels and serving different purposes. 76. Literacy rate. Total number of literate persons in a given age group, expressed as a percentage of the total population in that age group. For example, the adult literacy rate measures literacy among persons aged 15 years and above, and the youth literacy rate measures literacy among persons aged 15 to 24 years. 77. Mandate document for NCF. The mandate document lays down the mandate for the development of the National Curriculum Framework (NCF) on the basis of the National Education Policy (NEP 2020). It is intended for the use of all those involved in the process of development of the NCF, across the range of rules. The mandate document proposes delineating the process of development and characteristics of the National Curriculum Forum (NCF) and providing clear and specific anchors for the NCF to the vision, principles, and approach of the education policy. It describes the development process of the NCF, its expected structure and objectives, and some of the basic principles from the NEP 2020 that will inform the development of the NCF, which includes the National Curriculum Framework for School Education (NCFSE), the National Curriculum Framework for Early Childhood Care and Education (NCFECCE), the National Curriculum Framework for Teacher Education (NCFTE), and the National Curriculum Framework for Adult Education (NCFAE). Link of document is available at web links. 78. Multi-grade classroom. Several grades or divisions are taught simultaneously in the same classroom by a single teacher. 79. Multi-level classes. When students with different learning backgrounds, languages spoken, or even at different levels of learning, study together in a classroom, it is a multi-level class. In a sense, all classrooms are multi-level classrooms. 80. Multilingual education. According to UNESCO, the term refers to the use of at least 3 languages, for example, the mother tongue, a regional or national language, and an international language in education. 81. Mother tongue instruction. Mother tongue instruction generally refers to the use of the learner's mother tongue as the medium of instruction. It is considered to be an important component of quality education, particularly in the early years of the child. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 58. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 82. National Achievement Survey (NAS). National Achievement Survey (NAS) is a nationally representative large-scale sample survey of students' learning undertaken by the Ministry of Education, Government of India. NAS is a survey to assess the health of education which covers students of class 3, V, 8 and X. A process of gathering information in order to develop a deep understanding of what students know, understand, and can do with their knowledge as a result of their educational experiences. Details are available at web links. 83. National Curriculum Framework (NCF). NCF serves as a guideline for content, standards, syllabus, textbooks, teaching and evaluation practices for the schools in India. Till now, NCERT has been instrumental in bringing out 4 national curriculum frameworks (NCFs) in 1975, 1988, 2000 and 2005. As per the National Education Policy, 2020, 4 NCFs will be developed: National Curriculum Framework for Early Childhood Care and Education (NCFECCE), National Curriculum Framework for School Education (NCFSE), National Curriculum Framework for Teacher Education (NCFTE), and National Curriculum Framework for Adult Education (NCFAE). Website, web links 84. National Curricular and Pedagogical Framework for Early Childhood Care and Education (NCPFECCE) as envisioned in NEP 2020. NCPFECCE for children up to the age of 8 will be developed by NCERT in 2 parts, namely, a sub-framework for 0 to 3-year-olds, and a sub-framework for 3 to 8-year-olds, aligned with the above guidelines, the latest research on ECE, and national and international best practices. In particular, the numerous rich local traditions of India developed over millennia in ECE involving art, stories, poetry, games, songs, and more, will also be suitably incorporated. The framework will serve as a guide both for parents and for early childhood care and education institutions. 85. National Curriculum Framework for School Education (NCFSE). The formulation of a new and comprehensive NCFSE will be undertaken by the NCERT, based on the principles of the NEP 2020, Frontline Curriculum Needs, and after discussions with all stakeholders including state governments, ministries, relevant departments of the central government, and other expert bodies, and will be made available in all regional languages. NCFSE will clearly define the modalities for implementing the new curricular and pedagogical structure of 5+3+3+4. 86. Oral reading fluency. Of fluency is defined as the ability to read with speed, accuracy, and comprehension. In order to understand what they read, children must be able to read fluently whether they are reading aloud or silently. It means that a child can recognize and decode words accurately and automatically and understand the words as they are being read. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 59. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 87. Parakh Performance Assessment, Review and Analysis of Knowledge for Holistic Development. Parakh, the National Assessment Center, is envisaged as a standard-setting body to fulfill the basic objectives of setting norms, standards, and guidelines for student assessment and evaluation for all recognized school boards of India, monitoring achievement of learning outcomes in the country, and encouraging and helping school boards to shift their assessment patterns towards meeting the skill requirements of the 21st century in consonance with the stated objectives of this policy. 88. Pedagogy. Pedagogy refers to the methods of teaching, in theory and in practice. It refers to the study of teaching approaches and how they affect learners in enabling students to learn more effectively and can help them develop high-order thinking skills. 89. Peer learning. The practice of having students of the same or similar age learning from each other through various activities such as group work, buddy system such as, in Chandigarh and in Navodaya Vidyalaya, projects, interactions, games, puzzles etc. 90. Peer assessment. Peer assessment provides a structured learning process for students to critique and provide feedback to each other on their work. It helps students develop lifelong skills in assessing and providing feedback to others, and also equips them with skills to self-assess and improve their own work. It is a process by which learners rate their peers, and as such, of great relevance to teacher development. It signifies the joint collaboration by those involved in the learning process in the appraisal of their own learning. 91. Performance indicators PINDICS. Performance indicators PINDICS are used to assess the performance and progress of teachers. It consists of performance standards PS, specific standards and performance indicators. Performance standards are the areas in which teachers perform their tasks and responsibilities. Under performance standards, there are some specific tasks which are expected to be performed by the teachers. These are termed as specific standards. From specific standards, performance indicators have been derived. Link of website Web Links 92. Position papers, an evidence-based paper on pedagogical aspects learning, assessment, training etc. which can be drafted by teachers, experts, administrators and published for the consumption of their peer community and the larger school education ecosystem. 93. Print-rich environment. A print-rich environment is one in which a variety of print materials around the classroom, including print created by students, are being displayed. Show your students how to use the Sprint Glossary of Educational Terminologies definitions commonly used in school education. 60. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. And encourage them to use it. Create daily routines or exciting activities that demonstrate the purpose of the sprint. In multilingual classrooms, it is important that you use both students' home languages along with the school language for the sprint. 94. Program for International Student Assessment PISA. PISA is a competency-based assessment conducted by OECD, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, and measures the extent to which students have acquired key competencies that are essential for full participation in modern societies. PISA is a triennial international survey which aims to evaluate education systems worldwide by testing the skills and knowledge of 15-year-old students who are nearing the end of their compulsory education. PISA assesses how well they can apply what they learn in school to real-life situations. Over 90 countries have participated in the assessment so far, which began in 2000. Every 3 years students are tested in the key subjects, reading, mathematics and science. Website is available at Weblinks 95. Progress in International Reading Literacy Study PIRLS. PIRLS is recognized as the global standard for assessing trends in reading achievement at the 4th grade. It provides internationally comparative data on how well children read and offers policy-relevant information for improving learning and teaching. The study is administered at a key transition stage in children's reading development, the change from learning to read to reading to learn. Assessing reading achievement at this crucial stage provides educators and policy makers with key insights into the effectiveness of their education system and helps to identify areas for improvement. PIRLS assesses the two overarching purposes for reading that account for most of the reading done by young students both in and out of school, for literary experience and to acquire and use information. In addition, PIRLS assesses 4 broad-based comprehension processes within each of the 2 purposes for reading: focus on and retrieve explicitly stated information, make straightforward inferences, interpret and integrate ideas and information, and evaluate and critique content and textual elements. Website link is available at Weblinks 96. Project-based learning. Project-based learning is a form of student-centered teaching that engages students with course content as they work through a complex project. These projects are typically real-world scenarios and multifaceted. Project-based learning encourages interdisciplinary conversations and groups work. Glossary of Educational Terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 61. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 97. Quick Response QR Code. QR codes are an enhanced version of barcodes which contain information in a machine-readable format. The code on a textbook, one scan takes the user to the landing page of the learning modules. 98. Reading readiness. Activities have been undertaken for preparing formal reading instruction or any other reading activity or task. 99. Sample random assessment. Sample random assessments are the most common form of assessment. It could be conducted internationally, regionally, nationally, and even subnationally. These assessments are administered to a randomly selected portion of the student population based on some criteria like grade, social groups, gender etc. Sample random assessments are cost-effective and take care of teaching for examination issues. Their main goal is to produce evidence-based information which will help decision makers to identify learning gaps and allow them to take corrective actions. 100. School Innovation Ambassador. School Innovation Ambassador Program, an initiative conceptualized by the Ministry of Education Innovation Cell and All India Council for Technical Education (AICTE) to train the school teachers across the country who will nurture the young school students on design thinking and innovation, ideation, intellectual property rights (IPR), product development, problem solving and critical thinking. Link of website, web links. Role of the Innovation Ambassador. To help in creating the culture of innovation in their respective schools. To mentor the teachers and students at their respective schools and nearby schools. To provide support to other schools as resource person. To spread the message of innovation and startups among the students and faculties. To act as an evaluator for idea competitions conducted at national level. To act as a mentor for the national level program on innovation and related activities. 101. School Innovation Policy. Building on the momentum created by the National Education Policy 2020 to focus on innovation as a tool for revamping the educational system, the Ministry of Education's Innovation Cell has developed guidelines for schools to promote innovation and entrepreneurial skills among students. This is the National Innovation and Entrepreneurship Promotion Policy (NIEPP). The policy guides schools and education systems on various measures that they can adopt to promote a learning environment where the creativity, ideation, innovation, problem-solving and entrepreneurship skills of students are nurtured, irrespective of their age. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 62. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. Salient features. 1. Integrate teaching, learning and assessment. 2. Child-centered and activity-based pedagogy. 3. Focus on learning outcome-based competency development rather than content memorization. 4. Broadening the scope of assessment by way of including self-assessment, peer assessment besides teacher assessment. 5. Non-threatening, stress-free and enhanced participation interaction. 6. Focus on assessment of and as learning rather than evaluation of achievement. 7. Reposing faith on teacher and the system. 8. Enhancing self-confidence in children. 102. School Safety Guidelines. The Department of School Education and Literacy has developed a comprehensive guideline on school safety and security for fixing accountability of the school management in the matter of safety of children studying in schools, through wide and intensive consultative process with states and UTs, autonomous bodies and other ministries departments. This guideline has been developed following an accountability framework with the help of existing legal provisions. A whole school approach by integrating safety and security aspects in education itself. And addressing multi-sectoral concerns to further create a safe society, also giving recommendations for the other ministries and departments. Guidelines are available at web links. 103. Shala Siddhi. The National Program on School Standards and Evaluation (NPSSE), known as Shala Siddhi, has been developed as an instrument for self-evaluation of school performance that shall enable the school to evaluate its performance against the well-defined criteria in a focused and strategic manner. Available at web links. 104. Structured Assessments for Analyzing Learning (SAFAL), a competency-based assessment framework for the key stages, grades 3, 5 and 8 to assess the core concepts, application of knowledge and higher-order thinking skills. Available at web links. 105. School-Based Assessment (SBA). It is the process of integrating teaching, learning and assessment during the classroom interaction for facilitating learning. It is an assessment effort to ensure both continuity and comprehensive aspects of an individual's growth and development. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 63. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. SBA is defined as an assessment that is conducted at school level to facilitate attainment of competencies specified in terms of learning outcomes in a holistic manner during the teaching-learning process. Assessment embedded in the teaching and learning process within the broader educational philosophy of assessment for learning, and conducted for school students by school teachers in the schools. Modules under Nishtha on SBA is available at web links. PHP. Id equals 949 and section equals 5. 106. School Development Plan (SDP). As per Section 22 of RTE Act, each School Management Committee (SMC) is authorized to initiate the school-level planning in collaboration with the active community members, NGOs, civil society, individuals etc. For preparation of a school-level plan including preschool level, which is termed as School Development Plan (SDP) or School Improvement Plan. NEP 2020 has also stated that schools will develop their plans (SDPs) with the involvement of their SMCs, and these plans will then become the basis for the creation of School Complex Cluster Development Plans (SCDPs). The plans will include human resources, learning resources, physical resources and infrastructure, improvement initiatives, financial resources, school culture initiatives, teacher development plans, and educational outcomes. 107. School Leadership Development Program (SLDP). SLDP is targeted to build and enhance the capacity of school heads on a long-term and continuous basis. SLDP envisions a flexible program framework capable of addressing diversity in schools across the country through leadership development. 108. School Quality Assessment and Accreditation Framework (SQAF). NEP 2020 has reinforced that the SCERT will develop a School Quality Assessment and Accreditation Framework (SQAF) through consultations with all stakeholders. This will further help in enhancement of quality, recognition of excellence, promotion of accountability, and benchmarking schools across a range of descriptors or indicators of assessment. CBSE has developed a framework, School Quality Assessment and Assurance, which helps in monitoring identified outcomes at all levels and across all spheres of school education. Available at http://cbckdamic. NIC. In SQAA Handbook. PDF. 109. Science, Technology, Engineering and Mathematics (STEM). STEM education is a curriculum that focuses heavily on science, technology, engineering and mathematics. STEM is an integrated, interdisciplinary and student-centered approach to learning that encourages critical thinking, creativity, collaboration and design thinking across multiple disciplines. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 64. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 110. State Level Achievement Survey (SLAS). SLAS is a sample survey to assess the health of the education being conducted by states at state level. 111. State Curricular Framework (SCF). State Curriculum Framework is a document that is developed, adapted or adopted on the basis of NCF and has enough scope for local contextualization. It sets standards for curriculum and provides the necessary inputs for development and designing of syllabus and textbooks for all grades. 112. State School Standards Authority (SSI). NEP 2020 states, to ensure that all schools follow certain minimal professional and quality standards, states UTs will set up an independent, statewide, body called the State School Standards Authority (SSI). The SSI will establish a minimal set of standards based on basic parameters, namely, safety, security, basic infrastructure, number of teachers across subjects and grades, financial probity, and sound processes of governance, which shall be followed by all schools. The framework for these parameters will be created by the SCERT in consultation with various stakeholders, especially teachers and schools. 113. State Resource Groups (SRGs). SRGs are formed at the state level for the purpose of augmenting necessary suggestions, proposals, adopting appropriate measures and ensuring continuous monitoring and supervision of all activities relating to improvement of quality of education in the state. 114. Social Emotional Learning (SALE). Social Emotional Learning (SALE) focuses on equipping students with emotional and interpersonal skills. SALE is defined by the Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning as the development of knowledge, skills and attitudes to develop healthy identities, manage emotions and achieve personal and collective goals, feel and show empathy for others, establish and maintain supportive relationships, and make responsible and caring decisions. 115. Sports Integrated Learning. Integrating sport and play allows children and youth to better enjoy and engage with the learning process. NEP 2020 states, sports integration is another cross-curricular pedagogical approach that utilizes physical activities including indigenous sports, in pedagogical practices to help in developing skills such as collaboration, self-initiative, self-direction, self-discipline, teamwork. Glossary of educational terminologies. Definitions commonly used in school education. 65. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. Responsibility, citizenship, etc. Sports integrated learning will be undertaken in classroom transactions to help students adopt fitness as a lifelong attitude and to achieve the related life skills along with the levels of fitness as envisaged in the Fit India movement. The need to integrate sports in education is well recognized as it serves to foster holistic development by promoting physical and psychological well-being while also enhancing cognitive abilities. Para 4.8. 116. Summative Assessment. Summative assessments are used to evaluate student learning and academic achievement at the conclusion of a defined instructional period, typically at the end of a project, unit, course, semester, program, or school year. The purpose of summative assessment is to measure students' comprehension of the material presented at the end of a particular unit of work, and is often measured with a grade or percentage, depending on the subject. 117. Teaching Learning Material (TLM). TLMs, also known as instructional aids, facilitate a teacher in achieving the learning objectives formulated by her/him prior to teaching learning activities start. The roles of TLMs in the classroom are to make learning real, practical, and fun for children. Teachers use TLMs to illustrate or reinforce a skill, fact, or idea. Provisions of TLMs for students are available under Samagra Shiksha and Nipun Bharat. 118. Toy-based learning. Toys can be used to promote experiential learning in interesting ways and are useful in the teaching of mathematics, languages, science etc. Toys help children to connect with their culture. The use of traditional Indian games and toys in schools will make children connect with their heritage and will have a lifelong positive impact. 119. Toy-based pedagogy. Toy pedagogy is a teaching, learning approach in which concepts and skills are learnt in joyful manner using toys, games, puppets etc. This course focuses on enabling the learner to learn and practice the use of toys in teaching learning of his/her subjects. NEP 2020 has provided a definitive shift by focusing on play-based learning for the foundational and preparatory years. Usage of puzzles and games for the teaching of mathematics. Rooting curriculum and pedagogy in the ethos of Indian culture, bringing out the unique potential of children, etc. NEP 2020 is entirely based on activities and games and making of toys by children to develop their creativity, critical thinking, 21st century skills, and competencies. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 66. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 120. Trends in International Mathematics and Science Study. TIMSS. TIMSS is an international assessment of student achievement in mathematics and science at 4th and 8th grades. Measuring trends in achievement since 1995, TIMSS data have enabled countries around the world to make evidence-based decisions to improve educational policies related to mathematics and science teaching and learning. The study collects detailed information about curriculum and curriculum implementation, together with empirical information about the contexts for schooling. Website link is available at web links. 121. Vidya Pravesh, a 3-month play-based school preparation module for Grade 1 children, has been developed and designed to be implemented during the initial 3 months or 12 weeks of Grade 1 to make children Grade 1 ready. It contains the skills concept-wise activities, illustrations, and worksheets leading to the achievement of loss. The module is designed as an exemplar and the states, union territories, schools are free to adapt or adopt. Available at web links. PDF. 122. Vidyanjali, an initiative taken by the Ministry of Education, Government of India with the aim to strengthen schools through community and private sector involvement in schools across the country. This initiative would connect schools with varied volunteers from the Indian diaspora, namely, young professionals, school alumni, in-service and retired teachers, government officials, professionals and many others. Link of website is at web links. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 67. Teachers and teacher education. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 68. IV teachers and teacher education. 123. Bachelor of Education B. Ed. B. Ed. is a 2-year professional study completed after graduation to work as a teacher in public schools. All instructors must complete a B. Ed. course, according to the National Council on Teacher Education (NCTE). Teaching is often regarded as one of India's noble professions. A B. Ed. is required for entry into the teaching profession at the secondary school level. However, candidates must have the necessary qualifications to work as a teacher in pre-nursery, nursery, primary, secondary, or senior secondary schools or as a professor at a college or university. 124. Block Resource Center (BRC) functions at block level. BRCs are the most critical units for ensuring and evaluating the quality of education at school level on a constant basis and provide timely remedial interventions. BRCs are also expected to work in close collaboration with district institutes of education and training DIETs to render support to improve the quality of school education. 125. Block Institute of Teacher Education BITEs are pre-service elementary teacher education institutions established as per the requirement of a state (UT) in the minority concentration districts (MCDs) and the SC/ST dominated districts other than the block in which a DIET is sanctioned. BITE is the nodal agency for providing academic and resource support at the block level for the success of various strategies and programs undertaken in the areas of school education. 126. Colleges of Teacher Education CTEs were established under the erstwhile centrally sponsored scheme of teacher education from existing secondary teacher education institutions STEIs of adequate standard and good reputation to work in the field of secondary teacher education, both pre-service and in service. In addition, CTEs also had the responsibility of carrying out research, innovations, material development and providing extension support to schools and other professional bodies. 127. Continuous Professional Development CPD focuses on a multi-dimensional approach to long-term career development. Keeping in view the importance of giving continuous opportunities for self-improvement and to learn the latest innovations and advances in their profession, NEP 2020 recommends 50 hours of CPD every year for teachers and school heads in an area identified by them. Any learning activities undertaken by professionals for the purpose of developing new skills and enhancing their current capabilities. Glossary of educational terminologies. Definitions commonly used in school education. 69. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. Represent elements of CPD. It is a lifelong initiative of ongoing improvement, encompassing a wide variety of academic and professional activities. 128. Central Teacher Eligibility Test CTET in accordance with the provisions of subsection 1 of Section 23 of RTE Act 2009, NCT laid down Teacher Eligibility Test (TET) as one of the minimum qualifications for a person to be eligible for appointment as a teacher in Class 1 to 8 with a notification dated 23.8.2010. At the central level, TET is conducted by CBSE and termed as Central Teacher Eligibility Test (CTET). The validity of the CTET certificate is a lifetime. 129. Cluster Resource Center (CRC) functions at the cluster level. CRCs will function as academic resource centers with adequate resource reference materials for teachers. CRCs will undertake regular school visits and provide on-site academic support to teachers. 130. Diploma in Elementary Education D.L. Ed. D.L. Ed. is a 2-year full-time diploma course to train teachers for the primary level and can be done with classroom training or distance learning. It is a 4-semester course to prepare students to work in primary, upper primary schools in different states of the country. The course includes practical training and internships along with classroom training. 131. District Institute of Education and Training DIETs are recognized as nodal institution at the district level to transact pre-service and/or in-service training up to senior secondary level. Support teacher professional development and leadership development programs for headmasters, senior teachers, and school management committees. Conduct action, field research and collaborative research to provide policy inputs and to assess the impact. And to serve as an education resource center for the district in conjunction with other block and cluster level structures such as the BITEs, BRCs and CRCs. 132. Institutes of Advanced Studies in Education IASEs were established under the erstwhile centrally sponsored scheme of teacher education from existing secondary teacher education institutions. STEIs and IASEs had an additional mandate of developing into centers of excellence and research. 133. In-service teacher education ISTE is any learning opportunity provided to in-service teachers from time to time for their professional upgradation and development. As per the recommendation of NEP 2020, teachers and school heads are now being encouraged to participate in at least 50 hours of continuous professional development every year for their own professional development, driven by their own interests. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 70. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 134. Integrated Teacher Education Programs, as per NEP 2020, 4-year Integrated B.Ed. will be offered by such multidisciplinary higher education institutions and by 2030, will become the minimal degree qualification for school teachers. The 4-year Integrated B.Ed. will be a dual major holistic bachelor's degree in education as well as a specialized subject such as a language, history, music, mathematics, computer science, chemistry, economics, art, physical education, etc. 135. National Initiative for School Heads and Teachers Holistic Advancement (NISHTHA), the national initiative to improve learning outcomes through an integrated teacher training program called NISHTHA aims to motivate and equip teachers to encourage and foster critical thinking in students, handle diverse situations and act as first-level counselors. NISHTHA Integrated Training Program versions 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0 have been introduced for different stages of school education for teachers, head teachers, principals, and other stakeholders in educational management. NISHTHA training program is administered online through Diksha portal, which integrates artificial intelligence (AI) solutions to facilitate self-paced learning and close monitoring. Details are available at web links. 136. NISHTHA 1.0. NISHTHA 1.0 was launched as a national mission to improve learning outcomes at the elementary level on the 21st of August 2019. In the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, the NISHTHA 1.0 was made 100% online and launched on the 6th of October 2020. There are 18 modules in this program, each consisting of guidelines, primers, a training package with QR-coded content, videos, and other resources. In addition, assessment is inbuilt in every module and online certificates are automatically generated for participants after completion of the course. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 71. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 137. NISHTHA 2.0. NISHTHA 2.0 is designed for secondary level teachers. It was launched by the Honorable Prime Minister on the 29th of July 2021. NISHTHA 2.0 aims to cover around 10 lakh secondary and senior secondary teachers across all states and UTs. NCERT has developed a package consisting of 68 modules including 12 generic courses and 7 pedagogy courses for NISHTHA 2.0. 138. NISHTHA 3.0. NISHTHA 3.0 on foundational literacy and numeracy is designed for primary teachers. It was launched on the 7th of September 2021 by the Honorable Prime Minister. NISHTHA 3.0 aims to cover 25 lakh teachers at the primary level across all states and UTs. A special package consisting of 12 modules has been developed for this purpose. 139. NISHTHA 4.0. NISHTHA 4.0 is designed for the master trainers of EK. The objective of the Nishtha Ek is to orient the master trainers, make them aware of pedagogical practices meant for the Ek stage, ensure that all the teachers, Anganwadi workers follow the play and activity-based approach that will prepare children for class 1, and finally, provide strategies for the holistic development of young children through developmental goals. The Nishtha Ek has 6 courses and will be initiated in 2022-23. 140. National Professional Standards for Teachers (NPST). As per NEP 2020 Para 5.20, the National Professional Standards for Teachers would cover expectations of the role of the teacher at different levels of expertise rank, and the competencies required for that rank. It will also comprise standards for performance appraisal, for each rank, that would be carried out on a periodic basis. The NPST will also inform the design of pre-service teacher education programs. This could be then adopted by the states and determine all teacher career management, including tenure after the probationary, tenure track period, professional development efforts, salary increases, promotions, and other recognitions etc. It is a statement of quality and defines the competencies of teachers at different stages, levels. 141. National Mission on Mentoring (NMM). NMM is a joint responsibility of the Departments of School Education and Higher Education. NMM underlines the importance of the short and long-term mentoring, professional support to teachers and teacher educators. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 72. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 142. National Curriculum Framework for Teacher Education (NCFTE). A new and comprehensive National Curriculum Framework for Teacher Education (NCFTE) is being formulated by the NCTE in consultation with NCERT, based on the principles of this National Education Policy 2020. NCFTE will be made available in all regional languages and will also factor in the requirements of teacher education curricula for vocational education. 143. National Council for Teacher Education (NCTE). The National Council for Teacher Education as a statutory body came into existence in pursuance of the National Council for Teacher Education Act, 1993, No. 73 of 1993 on the 17th of August, 1995. The main objective of the NCTE is to achieve planned and coordinated development of the teacher education system throughout the country, the regulation and proper maintenance of norms and standards in the teacher education system and for matters connected therewith. The mandate given to the NCTE is very broad and covers the whole gamut of teacher education programs, including research and training of persons for equipping them to teach at primary, secondary, and senior secondary stages in schools, and non-formal education, part-time education, adult education, and distance correspondence education courses. Link for website is available at web links. 144. Postgraduate teachers (PGT). PGTs are postgraduate teachers who teach students of senior secondary or higher secondary. It is also known as secondary school teaching. 145. Primary teacher (PRT). PRT is a primary teacher who teaches students in grades 1 to 5. A candidate must have a diploma in elementary education and should have cleared the minimum eligibility test, i.e., TET, to work as a primary teacher. 146. Pre-Service Teacher Education (PSTE). PSTE is a program which prepares student teachers for the teaching profession. PSTE programs are run in teacher education institutions and graduates receive a government-recognized teaching qualification. 147. State Institute of Education (Z). State Institute of Education (CAs) were established in the mid-60s for qualitative improvement of elementary education. The functions of CS included organization of in-service training programs for teachers and supervisory personnel, conduct of conferences and seminars for senior officers district level and above of the Education Department. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 73. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 148. State Council of Educational Research and Training SCERTs have been notified as the academic authority at state level under Section 29(1) of the RTE Act to lay down the curriculum and evaluation procedure which would be followed by all schools in the elementary level. Over the years, the role of SCERTs has expanded to provide academic support at all stages of education, undertake coordination of all academic matters relating to school education, provide supervision support to the district and sub-district level institutions, development of curriculum, instructional material, textbooks, conduct research programs, provide guidance and support to State Department of Education. 149. State Institute of Educational Management and Training SIEMAT is a state-level institute for educational planning, management, research and training. 150. Teacher Education Institution (TEI). Government teacher education institutions consist of SCERTs, State Institutes of Education, DIETs and BIETs. The centrally sponsored scheme of Samagra Shiksha provides infrastructural and institutional support to these government teacher education institutions (TEIs). 151. Teacher Eligibility Test (TET) is a part of minimum qualifications required for a person to be eligible for appointment as a teacher for classes I to 8. Passing TET is one of the mandatory conditions for teaching in schools and it is conducted by both the central and state governments of India. NEP 2020 has recommended extension of TET to cover teachers across all stages: foundational, preparatory, middle and secondary of school education. 152. Trained Graduate Teacher (TGT). TGT is a term for a teacher who is a graduate and is trained in teacher education. If an individual is a graduate and has completed his B.Ed., then the person is a TGT (Trained Graduate Teacher) and there is no need for teacher training to become a TGT. TGT teachers are eligible to teach the below 10th grade students, including class 10th students. Digital Technology Glossary of Educational Terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 76. Digital Technology. 153. Blended Learning. Blended learning is an approach to education that combines online educational materials and opportunities for interaction online with traditional place-based classroom methods. It combines in-person teaching with online learning methods, so learners can listen to a lecture in a classroom and then take an online quiz right there or at home. Blended learning encompasses all education that integrates digital technologies, especially web-based learning tools. 154. Central Institute of Educational Technology (CIET). CIET is an autonomous organization, formed as a nodal agency under the National Council of Educational Research and Training (NCERT) to promote the use of mass media technology for expanding and improving the quality of education at the school level. 155. Digital Infrastructure for Knowledge Sharing (Diksha). Diksha Digital Infrastructure for Knowledge Sharing is the national infrastructure platform for school education in India, used widely across the country by crores of users in 33 languages. Diksha has been identified as a digital public good (DPG) by Government of India and architected as a set of building blocks in compliance with principles laid out in NDEAR. Diksha platform offers engaging learning material, relevant to the prescribed school curriculum, to teachers, students, and parents. Available at web links. 156. E-Pathshala. E-Pathshala has been developed by NCERT for showcasing and disseminating all educational resources including textbooks, audio, video, periodicals and a variety of other print and non-print materials through website and mobile app. The platform addresses the dual challenge of reaching out to a diverse clientele and bridging the digital divide geographical, socio-cultural, and linguistic, offering comparable quality of contents, and ensuring its free access at every time and every place. All the concerned stakeholders such as students, teachers, educators, and parents can access e-books through multiple technology platforms i.e., mobile phones, Android, iOS, and Windows platforms, tablets as EPUB, and on the web through laptops and desktops as flipbooks. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 77. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 157. Hybrid learning. Hybrid learning can be defined as teachers taking both online and offline classes simultaneously for the students. It is an educational model where some students attend class in person, while others join the class virtually from home. Educators teach remote and in-person students at the same time using tools like video conferencing hardware and software. It combines traditional classroom experiences, experiential learning objectives and digital course delivery. 158. Interactive Voice Response System (IVRS). IVRS is an automated telephony system that interacts with callers, gathers information and routes calls to the appropriate recipients. IVR systems can consist of telephony equipment, software applications, a database and a supporting infrastructure. 159. Information and Communication Technologies (ICT). Information and Communication Technologies (ICT) is defined as a diverse set of technological tools and resources used to transmit, store, create, share, or exchange information. These technological tools and resources include computers, the internet, websites, blogs, and emails, live broadcasting technologies, radio, television, and webcasting, recorded broadcasting technologies, podcasting, audio and video players, and storage devices, and telephony, fixed or mobile, satellite, vision, video conferencing, etc. 160. Learning Management System (LMS). A learning management system is a platform that enables instructors to organize and distribute course materials in a digital format. While features may vary, a typical LMS allows instructors to communicate with students, share readings, create and collect assignments, assess student work and post grades. An LMS may be used to complement a face-to-face course or for an entirely online course. A learning management system provides an instructor with a way to create and deliver content, monitor student participation and assess student performance. The platform also provides students with the ability to use interactive features such as threaded discussions, video conferencing and discussion forums. 161. NDEAR National Digital Education Architecture. NDEAR has been envisioned to be a digital infrastructure for education. NDEAR will be beneficial for both center and states in planning, administering and governing school education as well as to teachers, students, and schools for having a seamless digital learning experience. It's a technology framework that attempts to enable existing systems to be upgraded and made compatible while also providing the building blocks for new tools and solutions to be developed. Solutions and ideas that have worked in one state (UT) can be reused and reconfigured in another, eliminating the need to start from scratch and solve for India's scale, diversity, complexity. Glossary of educational terminologies. Definitions commonly used in school education. 78. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. device penetration, upskilling of teachers, multimodal learning access etc. It also ensures data empowerment and protection of individuals' privacy and confidentiality, privacy by design with minimal personally identifiable information and consent architecture to be strictly adhered to India's Data Protection Bill and laws. Available at web links. 162. National Educational Technology Forum (NETF). The policy envisages the establishment of the National Educational Technology Forum (NETF) as an autonomous body will be created to provide a platform for the free exchange of ideas on the use of technology to enhance learning, assessment, planning, administration, and so on, both for school and higher education. The aim of the NETF will be to facilitate decision-making on the induction, deployment, and use of technology, by providing to the leadership of education institutions, state and central governments, and other stakeholders, the latest knowledge and research as well as the opportunity to consult and share best practices. 163. NROER. The National Repository of Open Educational Resources (NROER) by the Ministry of Education offers resources for all school subjects and grades in multiple languages. Access to content is available in the form of educational videos, audio, images, documents, and interactive modules. 164. NDEAR Building Blocks, Principles, e.g., Technology, Building Blocks and Ecosystem. Standards and Specifications, e.g., Technology and Data. Guidelines, e.g., Data Processing. Ecosystem Engagement. Policies, e.g., Data Protection. Openness. Inclusion. Accessibility. Thus, the embodiment of NDEAR vision and principles is envisaged to result in the creation of 36 key building blocks by the center, state, UT, board and local school student levels. These building blocks shall be loosely coupled on a need-to-connect basis using standardized APIS and open specifications. 165. NDEAR Sandbox. NDEAR Ecosystem Sandbox is like a digital version of a tinkering lab which is used by technologists for fostering innovation in education. This will provide a digital environment to innovate possibilities across diverse scenarios to enable digital in education. It is being opened up for the first set of ecosystem partners for experimentation and testing. 166. OLabs. OLabs is based on the idea that lab experiments can be taught using the internet, more efficiently and less expensively. These labs can also be made available to students with no access to physical labs or where equipment is not available owing to being scarce or costly. This helps them compete with students in better equipped schools and bridges the digital divide and geographical distances. The experiments can be accessed anytime and anywhere, overcoming the glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 79. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. Content aligned to NCERT, CBSE and State Board syllabus. Interactive simulations, animations, and lab videos. Concepts and understanding of the experiment. Ability to perform, record and learn experiments anywhere, anytime, and individualized practice in all areas of experimentation. Physics, Chemistry, Biology labs from Class 9 to Class 12. English and Maths lessons for Class 9 and 10. Constraints on time felt when having access to the physical lab for only a short period of time. OLabs are hosted at www.olabs.edu. In. The features include 167. PMA Vidya for ensuring equitable education as part of the Atmanirbhar Bharat program, a comprehensive initiative for using technology with equity, called PMA Vidya has been initiated, which unifies all efforts related to digital, online, on-air education to enable multi-mode access to education. It sought to leverage technology to promote digital education in the country and to make e-learning feasible for students and teachers. It aims to provide multimodal access to learning resources by unifying all efforts related to digital, online, on-air education. It consists of the following 4 kinds of digital education resources: One Nation, One Digital Education Platform, Diksha for school education in states. Utdiksha is the national platform for school education available for all states and the central government for grades 1 to 12. It can be accessed through a web portal and mobile application. It provides access to a large number of curriculums linked to content through several use cases and solutions such as QR coded energized textbooks, ETBs, courses for teachers, quizzes, and others. It is the One Nation, One Digital Platform for school education. Swayam Prabha, One Class, One Channel, One earmarked TV channel per class from 1 to 12. Swayam Prabha DTH channels are meant to support and reach those who do not have access to the internet. 32 channels are devoted to telecast high-quality educational programs. Swayam MOOC's online MOOC courses relating to NIOS grades 9 to 12 of Open Schooling are uploaded on Swayam portal. Around 92 courses have started, and 1.5 crore students are enrolled. Students and teachers can access all the course modules, text, videos, and assessment questions etc. through Swayam. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. A.T. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. Extensive use of radio, community radio and podcasts. Radio broadcasting is being used for children in remote areas who are not online. 289 community radio stations have also been used to broadcast content for NIOS for grades 9 to 12. A podcast called Shiksha Vani is being effectively used by learners of grades 9 to 12. It contains over 430 pieces of audio content for all subjects of grades 1 to 12. IV, specially content for visually and hearing impaired. One DTH channel is being operated specifically for hearing impaired students in sign language. For visually and hearing impaired students, study material has been developed in the Digitally Accessible Information System (DAISY) and in sign language. Both are available on NIOS website YouTube. Available at web links. 168. PRAGYATA. Guidelines have been developed on digital education for school heads, teachers, parents, and students containing recommendations. Focus on the methodology, time spent, etc. For online blended digital education for students who are presently at home due to the closure of schools. It also provides sufficient do's and don'ts regarding ergonomics and cyber safety. There are infographics on how to use devices and have proper posture during the online classes. Available at web links. 169. Shagun Digital Repository. Shagun Digital Repository has been designed to change the narrative on school education by showcasing the multitude of innovative and successful models being implemented by all states and UTs in diverse circumstances. This repository of good practices focuses on positive stories and developments that are driving performance improvements in school education. Available at web links. 170. Shiksha Vani. Podcast called Shikshawani of CBSE disseminates audio content for various subjects of grades 9 to 12 in a timely, educative, lucid, and seamless manner. CBSE Shikshawani is available on Play Store for Android phone users. So far, Shikshawani contains approximately 400 pieces of content in the form of audio files on topics in accordance with NCERT curriculum. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 81. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. Registry, NDEAR. While all state and central governments have the need to maintain master data within the education domain, few have managed to successfully collect and keep it up to date. Almost no system today has exposed reusable registries for others to build on. It is essential that data about schools, teachers, students, administrative officials, subjects, textbooks, etc. are maintained through a set of federated fourth-generation registries not kept central but kept within various state-centered department systems which are the primary keeper of that data. The registries must be designed to be easily accessible by other building blocks and usable through Registry as a Service with open APIs, beyond the traditional portals for end users to view and access. School, teacher, and student are core registries envisaged in NDEAR across federated levels and not as a central database. 171. Swayam. Swayam is a program initiated by the Government of India and designed to achieve the three cardinal principles of education policy viz. Access, equity, and quality. The objective of this effort is to take the best teaching learning resources to all, including the most disadvantaged. Swayam seeks to bridge the digital divide for students who have hitherto remained untouched by the digital revolution and have not been able to join the mainstream of the knowledge economy. This is done through a platform that facilitates hosting of all the courses taught in classrooms from class 9 till post-graduation to be accessed by anyone, anywhere at any time. All the courses are interactive, prepared by the best teachers in the country and are available free of cost to any learner. Courses hosted on Swayam are in 4 quadrants: 1. Video lecture, 2. Specially prepared reading material that can be downloaded printed, 3. Self-assessment tests through tests and quizzes, and 4. An online discussion forum for clearing the doubts. Link of website, https://payvidya. Education. Gov. In Swayam portal. HTML. 172. Swayam Prabha, 1 class, 1 TV channel. In the Ministry of Education, a total of 34 channels are devoted to telecast high-quality educational programs. Of these, 12 TV channels are earmarked for the 1 class, 1 TV channel under the Atmanirbhar Bharat program for the Department of School Education and Literacy. These 12 PMA Vidya DTH TV channels started functioning for school education on WAF, the 1st of September 2020. All the videos based on chapters have been QR coded and can be found on Diksha portal with a feature of coherence. Since launch, telecasts of chapter-wise programs have been done on each channel. Registry, NDEAR. While all state and central governments have the need to maintain master data within the education domain, few have managed to successfully collect and keep it up to date. Almost no system today has exposed reusable registries for others to build on. It is essential that data about schools, teachers, students, administrative officials, subjects, textbooks, etc. are maintained through a set of federated fourth-generation registries not kept central but kept within various state-centered department systems which are the primary keeper of that data. The registries must be designed to be easily accessible by other building blocks and usable through Registry as a Service with open APIs, beyond the traditional portals for end users to view and access. School, teacher, and student are core registries envisaged in NDEAR across federated levels and not as a central database. School registry. Currently, each school is uniquely identified by a Unified District Information on School Education (UDISE) code. In addition to these, there are multiple schools institutions which are not onboarded on UDISE Plus or may be using their own codes for institutes. There is a need for a master registry to facilitate institution-controlled create, read, update, and delete operations while keeping attestations, approvals to appropriate authorities and act as a single source of truth for all other building blocks and systems. UDISE code has been recognized for the purpose of uniquely identifying schools, preschools, vocational training institutes and other institutions pertaining to school education. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 82. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. UDISE Plus shall be augmented with the features required to perform school registry with OpenAPIS. School Directory Management acts as a centralized school registry which facilitates the management of all the school's 15 plus lakhs on a real-time basis in federated architecture. It caters to all types of schools including private schools. 174. Student Registry. By registry is meant a technology-based solution for an information system with multiple data points related to several areas in one place, to enable easy access to authorized stakeholders to keep track of progress and performance. A student registry would not only give a unique ID to the student that they can carry through their continuum of studies at all levels but will also include a record of basic information, date of birth, category, parents' names, address, etc. Benefits: uniform, textbooks, scholarships, transport allowance, CWSN stipend, etc. A record of attendance, tests, grades, the record of sports, arts, Olympiads and other activities that a student has participated in, the record of migrations, etc. The potential of student registry includes holistic progress card, tracking of the child, predicting dropout out, catching them before damage is done, assessment for skilling, counseling both career and mental health, re-entry into formal schooling after a break, transition to higher education, multiple entry exit scheme tracking, employment status after skilling or education, and data and evidence-based systemic interventions blocks, district, state-wise etc. 175. Teacher Registry. Teachers have multiple entry and exit points in the education system and shall require the teacher registry to be maintained at the central level or at the state level with national access with necessary access control and consent flows. Student and teacher directory may leverage Aadhaar, PAN or other existing identifiers for unique identification as necessary. Teacher registry will uniquely register and manage teachers' key attributes which will be fetched and leveraged by various other applications. Teacher registry attributes and process has been drafted and shall be taken up to the technical working group for finalization. 176. Vidya Samiksha Kendra (VSK). The NDEAR compliant Vidya Samiksha Kendra (VSK) is an institutional setup that will provide visibility of progress across programs, schemes. Vidya Samiksha Kendra (VSK) aims at leveraging data and technology to bring a big leap in learning outcomes. This will cover data of more than 15 lakh schools, 96 lakh teachers and 26 crore students and analyze them meaningfully using big data analysis, artificial intelligence, and machine learning to enhance the overall monitoring of the education system and thereby improve learning outcomes. It helps to keep track of enrolled students, learning at home, dropouts, student learning, registries, out-of-school children, textbook delivery, support required by teachers and schools, etc. And also to monitor and track field-level academic and non-academic activities at the state level and also empower administrators and teachers in the field to make data-driven decisions and monitor the real-time status towards various projects, components, activities, grievance redressal mechanism under the ambit of school education. It brings synergy to the work being done in the ecosystem by integrating data from different datasets and empowers students, teachers, and parents to bridge the gap. 177. Virtual Lab. Leveraging the learning building blocks of NDER, virtual labs will provide a set of tools and content that provides a visual, interactive, and immersive experience for students and teachers to understand and appreciate important concepts. Virtual labs bring these experiences especially to students who may be deprived of functional lab experience to conduct hands-on experiments. Virtual labs content is published by NCERT for science and mathematics subjects across grades 9 to 12 on Diksha. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 83. Governance and monitoring glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 84. Governance and monitoring. 178. Annual Work Plan and Budget AWP&B. AWP&B is a key project activity which allows the project to plan and manage its financial resources to support the implementation of its activities. Yearly action plan to implement interventions of Samagra Shiksha of states and UTs. 179. Comprehensive Review Mission (CRM). A monitoring mechanism by way of a comprehensive review mission, CRM, to be conducted every 6 months, preferably in the months of January and July each year, will be set up. 180. Concurrent List Subject. Concurrent list encompasses items of concerns of both the center and the states. Both will legislate for items in the concurrent list. Under Article 42 of the Constitution, an amendment was added in 1976 and education became a concurrent subject which enables the central government to legislate it in the manner suited to it. 181. Key Performance Indicators (KPIs). KPIs are the critical key indicators of progress toward an intended result. KPIs provide a focus for strategic and operational improvement, create an analytical basis for decision-making and help focus attention on what matters most. For every component of Samagra Shiksha, measurable key performance indicators have been developed for effective monitoring of scheme implementation. 182. National Commission for Protect of Children Rights (NCPCR). Commission's mandate is to ensure that all laws, policies, programs, and administrative mechanisms are in consonance with the child rights perspective as enshrined in the Constitution of India and also the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. 183. Output Outcome Monitoring Framework (OOMF). OOMF represents an important reform towards outcome-based monitoring developed by NITI Aayog. This is a paradigm shift from measuring simply physical and financial progress to a governance model based on outcomes. The framework endeavors to provide measurable glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 85. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. Indicators for achievement of scheme objectives, or the outcomes, and facilitates target setting on output, measurable product of program activities, and outcome collective results or qualitative improvements brought about by delivery of services, indicators by the ministry's departments. 184. PRABANDH Project Appraisal, Budgeting Achievements and Data Handling System. A comprehensive online monitoring system, PRABANDH, has been enabled to view the status of releases, approved outlays, coverage as per UDISE+, school-wise list of approvals, school-wise gaps, cancellation in approvals, etc. This system has been developed under Samagra Shiksha towards leveraging technology to enhance efficiency and manage the implementation of the scheme. Available at web links. 185. Project Approval Board (PAB). The PAB, constituted at the national level for Samagra Shiksha under the chairmanship of Secretary SE&L, will be responsible for the planning process of the mission. The PAB for approval of AWPNB also has representatives of the relevant ministries and states to strengthen convergent action. 186. Performance Grading Index (PGI) State. PGI is a tool to provide insights on the status of school education in states and UTs, including key levers that drive their performance and critical areas for improvement. The index, comprising of 70 indicators, is propelling states and UTs towards undertaking multi-pronged interventions that will bring about the much-desired educational outcomes. Available at web links. In 187. Performance Grading Index (PGI) District. PGI is a tool to provide insights on the status of school education in district level, including key levers that drive their performance and critical areas for improvement. Available at https://pgi. Odisha Plus. Gov. In 188. State Implementation Society (SIS). Samagra Shiksha is implemented as a centrally sponsored scheme by the department through a single State Implementation Society (SIS) at the state UT level. It provides for a governing council (GC) headed by the Education Minister at the national level and a project approval board (PAB) headed by the Secretary, Department of School Education and Literacy. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 86. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 189. School Education Quality Index (SEQI). SEQI was developed by NITI Aayog to evaluate the performance of states and UTs in the school education sector. The index aims to bring an outcomes focus to education policy by providing states and UTs with a platform to identify their strengths and weaknesses and undertake requisite course corrections or policy interventions. 190. Unified District Information System for Education Plus (UDISE Plus). UDISE Plus is an improved and updated version of Unified District Information System for Education (UDISE). The entire system is online. Some of the expected outcomes of UDISE Plus are evidence-based planning and decision-making, data analytics to identify factors affecting school performance, time series data to study the trend over years and monitor improvement and growth, track key performance indicators and rationalization of schools and teachers based on evidence. Available at web links. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 87. Vocational and Skilling Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 88. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 7. Vocational and Skilling. 191. Design Thinking. Design thinking is an approach used for practical and creative problem solving and innovative solutions which you can prototype and test. Design thinking helps to solve problems by identifying challenges, gathering information, and refining ideas. The overall goal is to identify alternative strategies and solutions that are not instantly apparent with your initial level of understanding. Design thinking is more than just a process. It opens up an entirely new way to think, and it offers a collection of hands-on methods to help you apply this new mindset. Key stages of design thinking. 192. National Council for Vocational Education and Training (NCVET). NCVET was notified by MSDE on the 5th of December 2018 and will act as an overarching skills regulator. The NCVET will regulate the functioning of entities engaged in vocational education and training, both long and short term, and establish minimum standards for the functioning of such entities. The major functions of NCVET would be recognition and regulation of awarding bodies, assessment agencies, and skill-related information providers. Approval of qualifications. monitoring and supervision of recognized entities and grievance redressal. The NCVET will enable integration of fragmented regulatory system and infuse quality assurance across the entire vocational training value chain, leading to better outcomes. 193. National Committee for the Integration of Vocational Education (NCIVE) MO will constitute a National Committee for the Integration of Vocational Education (NCIVE) consisting of experts in vocational education and representatives from across ministries, in collaboration with industry, to oversee this effort. 194. National Skill Development Agency (NSDA). NSDA is an autonomous body registered as a society under the Societies Registration Act, 1860, under the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. It anchors the National Skills Glossary of educational terminologies definitions commonly used in school education. 89. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. Qualifications Framework (NSQF) and allied quality assurance mechanisms for synergizing skill initiatives in the country. 195. National Skills Qualification Committee (NSQC). The NSQF is anchored in National Council Vocational Education and Training (NCVET) and implemented through the National Skills Qualification Committee. 196. National Skills Qualifications Framework (NSQF). NSQF is a nationally integrated education and competency-based framework that enables persons to acquire desired competency levels. The National Skills Qualifications Framework (NSQF) organizes qualifications according to a series of levels of knowledge, skills, and aptitude. These levels, graded from 1 to 10, are defined in terms of learning outcomes which the learner must possess regardless of whether they were acquired through formal, non-formal or informal learning. 197. National Qualifications Register (NQR). The National Qualifications Register is the official national public record of all qualifications aligned to National Skills Qualifications Framework (NSQF) levels, qualification pathways and accrediting authorities. It gives learners and other users of qualifications access to all the qualifications registered and currently on offer. It is an initiative of the National Skill Development Agency, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. Available on web links. In 198. National Skill Development Corporation (NSDC). NSDC was set up as part of a national skill development mission to fulfill the growing need in India for skilled manpower across sectors and narrow the existing gap between the demand and supply of skills. NSDC aims to promote skill development by catalyzing creation of large, quality, and for-profit vocational institutions. Further, the organization provides funding to build scalable and profitable vocational training initiatives. Its mandate is also to enable support system which focuses on quality assurance, information systems and train the trainer academies either directly or through partnerships. NSDC acts as a catalyst in skill development by providing funding to enterprises, companies and organizations that provide skill training. The differentiated focus on 37 sectors under NSDC's purview and its understanding of their viability will make every sector attractive to private investment. 199. Sector Skill Councils (SSC). Sector Skill Councils (SSCs) plays a vital role in bridging the gap between what the industry demands and what the skilling requirements ought to be. The National Occupational Standard is one of the most significant contributions of NSDC to India's skilling ecosystem, something that was made possible by the SSCs, which are national partnership organizations that bring together all the stakeholders: industry, labor, and the academia. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 89. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 91. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. Scheme-related glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 92. 8 scheme-related. 200. Atal Tinkering Labs (ATLs) with a vision to cultivate 1 million children in India as Neoteric innovators. Atal Innovation Mission (AIM). Niti Aayog is establishing Atal Tinkering Laboratories (ATLs) in schools across India. The objective of this scheme is to foster curiosity, creativity, and imagination in young minds, and inculcate skills such as design mindset, computational thinking, adaptive learning, physical computing etc. ATL is a workspace where young minds can give shape to their ideas through hands-on do-it-yourself mode and learn innovation skills. ATL objectives. 1. To create workspaces where young minds can learn innovation skills, sculpt ideas through hands-on activities, work and learn in a flexible environment. 2. To empower our youth with the 21st century skills of creativity, innovation, critical thinking, design thinking, social and cross-cultural collaboration, ethical leadership and so on. 3. To help build innovative solutions for India's unique problems and thereby support India's efforts to grow as a knowledge economy. 201. Assistive Technology Act. Assistive Technology Act for people with disabilities aims at removing accessibility barriers. Act includes products and services that maintain or improve an individual's functioning, independence, participation, and well-being. It encompasses specialized devices like wheelchairs, prostheses, communication aids, hearing aids and eyeglasses. It also includes services like speech and occupational therapy, as well as assessments that match individuals to the technology that's right for them. Assistive technology is instrumental for the development and participation of children with disabilities, enabling their communication, mobility, and self-care, and allowing them to explore their worlds. 202. Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav (AKAM). The Government of India is commemorating the 75th anniversary of India's independence through a series of events under Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav (AKAM). The official journey of AKAM commenced on the 12th of March 2021 and will end post a year of the 75th anniversary on the 15th of August 2023. The Mahotsav is being celebrated as a Jan Utsav in the spirit of Jan Bhagidari. The events under AKAM revolve around 5 pillars viz. Freedom struggle, ideas at 75, achievements at 75, actions at 75 and resolve at 75. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 93. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 203. Basic education equivalency. This will include basic education equivalency. Basic education equivalency. This will include preparatory classes 3 to V, middle classes V to 8, and secondary stage classes IX to 12, equivalency to be implemented in collaboration between NCERT, SCERTs and NIOS, SIOS. 204. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, BBBP. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao is a campaign of the Government of India. It was launched by the Honorable Prime Minister on the 22nd of January 2015 to address the issue of decline in child sex ratio and related issues of empowerment of girls and women over a life cycle continuum. 205. Centrally Sponsored Scheme on Teacher Education (CSSTE). CSSTE was a centrally sponsored scheme aimed to provide infrastructural and institutional support to government TEIs to enhance the quality of teachers across classes. 206. Continuing education. Continuing education will be provided to learners of 15-year and above age group in the country, which includes engaging holistic adult education courses in arts, sciences, technology, culture, sports, recreation, as well as other topics of interest or use to local learners, such as better and advanced material on continuing education to be implemented in convergence with Department of Higher Education and other relevant ministries departments at central and state, UT level. 207. Critical Life Skills (CLS). The program includes various skills like financial literacy, legal literacy, digital literacy, environmental literacy, disaster management, commercial skills, childcare and education, health and family welfare issues on awareness on dietary habits, exercise, yoga, cessation of tobacco use, first aid care, and management of road traffic accident, etc. And awareness on how to fill various forms such as voter registration, Aadhaar, etc. These skills will be implemented through convergence with concerned ministries departments at central and state, UT level. Online modules will also be developed by NCERT in Hindi and SCERTs in local languages for each of these areas of life skills. 208. Common Service Centers (CSCs). CSCs, an initiative of Digital India established in rural and urban areas in the country, may be involved with their services to implement the New India Literacy Program in the country, particularly for the purpose of online teaching and learning activities on critical life skills component of the scheme. Foundational literacy and numeracy, including digital literacy and various critical life skills of the scheme, may be implemented through CSCs. Presently 5.25 lakh common service centers exist in the country. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 94. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 209. Dhruv, Pradhan Mantri Innovative Learning Program. Dhruv has been started on pilot basis by MoV, Government of India, to identify and encourage talented children to enrich their skills and knowledge. The first batch of the Dhruv program was implemented during October 2019. Now a detailed framework for identification and nurturing of gifted children is under process. 210. Early Childhood Care and Education (ECE) covers the age group of 3 to 6 years at preschool level. ECE is more than preparation for primary school, which aims at the holistic development of a child's social, emotional, cognitive, and physical needs in order to build a solid and broad foundation for lifelong learning and well-being. 211. Ek Bharat Shrestha Bharat (EBSB). Ek Bharat Shrestha Bharat program aims to enhance interaction and promote mutual understanding between people of different states, UTs, through the concept of state-UT pairing. The states carry out activities to promote a sustained and structured cultural connect in the areas of language learning, culture, traditions and music, tourism and cuisine, sports and sharing of best practices, etc. 212. Health Indicators. As per Para 1.6 of NEP 2020, health checkups and growth monitoring that are available in the Anganwadi system shall also be made available to preparatory class students of Anganwadi as well as of primary schools. Accordingly, states and UTs may develop health indicators to track them through annual health checkups. 213. Inclusive Education for Disabled at Secondary Stage (IEDSS). IEDSS was launched in the academic year 2009-10 to provide assistance for inclusive education of disabled children in classes 6-12. 214. Kala Utsav. Kala Utsav is an initiative of the Department of School Education and Literacy, Ministry of Education, MoP, Government of India, launched in 2015, to promote arts in education, by nurturing and showcasing the artistic talent of school students in the country. The Ministry of Education recognizes the importance of aesthetics and artistic experience of secondary level students, which plays a major role in creating awareness about India's rich cultural heritage and its vibrant diversity. In the context of education of arts, music, dance, visual arts and crafts, the initiative is guided by the recommendations of the NEP 2020. Link is available at web links. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 95. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 215. Kasturba Gandhi Balika Vidyalaya KGBV, residential schools, hostels, classes V to 12, to provide educational facilities for girls belonging to scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, other backward classes, minority communities and families below the poverty line in educationally backward blocks. KGBVs are set up in educationally backward blocks (EBs) of a state UT where the female rural literacy rate is below the national average. The objective behind establishing KGBVs is to ensure access and quality education to girls from disadvantaged groups by setting up residential schools and to reduce gender gaps at all levels of school education. 216. Lakshyas of FLN. The goals of the Nipun Bharat Mission are set in the form of Lakshya or targets for foundational literacy and numeracy. The Lakshyas have been developed from Balvatika to grade 3. The Lakshyas are based on the learning outcomes developed by the NCERT and also comprises oral reading fluency with comprehension based on international research. 217. Learning Enhancement Program LEP is to enhance the teaching learning process by providing additional resource materials. LEP has been provided under Samagra Shiksha for students of classes I to 12. 218. Material cost under PM Poshan, the amount meant for procuring pulses, vegetables, oil, condiments, and fuel for preparing hot cooked meals. It was previously known as cooking cost. 219. National Center for Literacy NCERT. The National Center for Literacy at national level is housed in NCERT and will work in close coordination with the Adult Education Bureau of DOSAL, MO, NIOS and SCERTs in state UTs. The broader mandate of NCL is to develop the national curriculum framework of education for all adult education. NCL will develop online modules on various components of the scheme: A. Teaching learning material TLM, A. Primers, A. Contents, and video lectures for state UTs in prototype, and state UTs will be given liberty to modify, revise and translate in local language dialects the same as per their needs. Training of state resource persons and master trainers through online modules mode especially developed for this purpose by NCL. Training manuals for state-level trainers and volunteer guides for training of volunteers will be developed by NCL under NILP. 220. New India Literacy Program NILP. Government approved a new scheme, New India Literacy Program, UOHKKJRLKKJRKDK. ZOE for the period FYs 2022-2027 to cover all the aspects of adult education to align with National Education Policy 2020 and Budget Announcements 2021-22. The scheme will cover non-literates of the age of 15 years and above in all state UTs in the country. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 96. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. The objectives of the scheme is to impart not only foundational literacy and numeracy but also to cover other components which are necessary for a citizen of 21st century, such as critical life skills including financial literacy, digital literacy, commercial skills, healthcare and awareness, childcare and education, and family welfare. Vocational skills development with a view towards obtaining local employment. Basic education including preparatory, middle, and secondary stage equivalency. And continuing education including engaging holistic adult education courses in arts, sciences, technology, culture, sports, and recreation, as well as other topics of interest or use to local learners, such as more advanced material on critical life skills. 221. Nipun Bharat National Initiative for Proficiency in Reading with Understanding and Numeracy, the national mission on foundational literacy and numeracy called National Initiative for Proficiency in Reading with Understanding and Numeracy, Nipun Bharat aims to achieve universal foundational literacy and numeracy by the end of grade 3 by 2026-27. It will ensure that all children attain grade-level competencies in reading, writing and numeracy. The mission was launched on July 5, 2021. The mission will focus on following areas: providing access and retaining children in foundational years of schooling, teacher capacity building, development of high-quality and diversified student and teacher resources, learning materials and tracking the progress of each child in achieving learning outcomes of children. Available at https://www.education.gov. Insights upload_files MHRD files Nipun_Bharat_Eng1. PDF 222. National Means Cum Merit Scholarship Scheme NMMSS. The Central Sector Scheme, National Means Cum Merit Scholarship Scheme, was launched in 2008, with the objective to award scholarships to meritorious students of economically weaker sections to arrest their dropout at Class 8 and encourage them to continue their education at secondary stage. 1 lakh fresh scholarships are awarded to selected students of Class 9 every year and their continuation renewal in Classes X to 12 for study in state government, government-aided and local body schools under the scheme. 223. National Awards to Teachers. National Awards to Teachers was instituted in 1958. The purpose of National Awards to Teachers is to celebrate the unique contribution of some of the finest teachers in the country and to honor those teachers who through their commitment and industry have not only improved the quality of school education but also enriched the lives of their students. From mid-60s, the function is also held on 5th of September, Teachers' Day, every year on account of the birthday of Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, former President of India. Link of the website at web links. 224. National Curriculum Framework on Adult Education NCFAE. As per Para 21.5 of NEP 2020, Adult Education Curriculum Framework will be developed by a new and well-supported constituent body of the NCERT that is dedicated to adult education, so as to glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 97. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. Develop synergy with and build upon NCERT's existing expertise in establishing outstanding curricula for literacy, numeracy, basic education, vocational skills, and beyond. The curriculum framework for adult education will include at least 5 types of programs, each with clearly defined outcomes: A. Foundational literacy and numeracy. B. Critical life skills including financial literacy, digital literacy, commercial skills, healthcare and awareness, childcare and education, and family welfare. C. Vocational skills development with a view towards obtaining local employment. D. Basic education including preparatory, middle, and secondary stage equivalency. And A. Continuing education including engaging holistic adult education courses in arts, sciences, technology, culture, sports, and recreation, as well as other topics of interest or use to local learners, such as more advanced material on critical life skills. 225. No Detention Policy NDP on demand from states. The RTE Amendment Act, 2019 amending the No Detention Policy of the RTE Act, 2009 has been enacted by Parliament and notified on the 11th of January 2019. Under this, if a student fails in a second attempt, she can be detained in Class 5 or 8 or both, and the state can decide not to detain the child. 226. Online Teaching Learning and Assessment System (OTLAS). OTLAS is a computer application embedded in web portal, mobile app under New India Literacy Program (NILP) developed by National Informatics Centre (NIC). Through OTLAS, a person may register him/herself or a school may register him/her as a learner, non-literate or volunteer with essential information like name, date of birth, gender, Aadhaar number, not mandatory, mobile number, etc. for imparting teaching and learning activities. Through OTLAS, a learner may attend class through online virtual mode by using his/her mobile, computer, laptop, common service center, CSC, digital booth, any cyber cafe, or any place where a computer internet facility is available. A learner may obtain the results in the form of a certificate jointly signed by NLMA and NIOS after successful submission of his/her appearance of the requisite assessment test. OTLAS contains 3 sections, namely, I. Registration of learner, volunteer, E. Teaching and learning, and E. Assessment and certification. 227. Operation Blackboard. The central government started the scheme of Operation Blackboard under NPE 1986 W.A.F. 1987-88, under which every primary school was provided with at least 2 primary teachers, minimum equipments and aids essential for teaching in primary schools. The scheme was later on extended to upper primary schools also. The scheme has since been merged into the SSI program. 228. Parent-Teacher Meeting PTM platform helps parent and teacher to develop a rapport and build a strong relationship to understand and determine the need of a child. Two-ways communication has great values for proper development of a child. Parent as well as teacher shares their effort on a common platform for the welfare of a child. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 98. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 229. Pariksha Pe Charcha (PPC). Pariksha Pe Charcha (PPC) is an annual event held every year since 2018. During the event, the Honorable Prime Minister of India interacts with students, teachers and parents from across the country, and shares valuable tips on how to take board and entrance exams in a relaxed and stress-free manner. PPC is part of the larger movement, Exam Warriors, led by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, to create a stress-free atmosphere for youngsters. It is a movement that is driven by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi's efforts to bring together students, parents, teachers and the society to foster an environment where the unique individuality of each child is celebrated, encouraged and allowed to express itself fully. 230. PM Poshan Pradhan Mantri Poshan Shakti Nirman Scheme. Earlier known as the National Program of Midday Meal in Schools, is one of the foremost rights-based centrally sponsored schemes under the National Food Security Act, 2013 (NFSA). The primary objective of the scheme is to improve the nutritional status of children studying in classes I-8 in eligible schools. This is a centrally sponsored scheme which covers all school children studying in classes I-8 in government-aided schools. Available at web links. 231. Rashtriya Avishkar Abhiyan (RA), in pursuance of the focus on connecting school-based knowledge to life outside the school and making learning of science and mathematics a joyful and meaningful activity, to bring focus on innovation and use of technology, the Ministry of Education has set up the RA, a convergent framework that aims at nurturing a spirit of inquiry and creativity, love for science and mathematics and effective use of technology amongst children, and encourage those who show an inclination and talent for these subjects to be encouraged and supported to heights of academic excellence and research. Link of document is available at web links. In N. Rashtriya Avishkar Abhiyan 232. Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan (RMSA). RMSA was a flagship scheme of Government of India launched in 2009 to enhance access to secondary education and improve its quality. The scheme was merged under the integrated scheme of Samagra Shiksha in 2018-19. 233. Reading Campaign. The Union Education Ministry launched 100 Days Reading Campaign, Padhe Bharat, on January 1, 2022. The launch of 100 Days Reading Campaign is in alignment with the National Education Policy (NEP) 2020, which emphasizes on promotion of joyful reading culture for children by ensuring availability of age-appropriate reading books for children in local, mother tongue, regional, tribal language. The aim of this campaign is to emphasize that reading is the foundation of learning, which motivates students to read books independently, develops creativity, critical glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 99. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. Thinking, vocabulary and the ability to express both verbally and in writing. It helps children to relate to their surroundings and real-life situation. Link of the document is available at https://www.education.gov. Insights upload_files MHRD files guidelines_on_reading_campaign. PDF. 234. Right of Children to Free and Compulsory Education Act, 2009 RTE. RTE is an Act of the Parliament of India enacted on 4 August 2009, which describes the modalities of the importance of free and compulsory education for children between 6 and 14 in India under Article 21A of the Indian Constitution. The Act makes education a fundamental right of every child between the ages of 6 and 14 and specifies minimum norms in elementary schools. 235. Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan (SSI). SSI was the flagship program launched in 2001-02 by the Government of India to achieve the universalization of elementary education (UEE) in a time-bound manner as mandated by the Constitution of India. The scheme was merged under the integrated scheme of Samagra Shiksha in 2018-19. 236. Samagra Shiksha. An overarching program for the school education sector extending from preschool to class 12 has been prepared with the broader goal of improving school effectiveness measured in terms of equal opportunities for schooling and equitable learning outcomes. It subsumes the three erstwhile schemes of Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan (SSI), Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan (RMSA), and Teacher Education (TE). Scheme has been continuing from 2018-19 and is extended up to 2025-26 with an outlay of over Rs. 2.94 lakh crore. 237. Samajak Chetna Kendra. As per Para 7.12 of NEP 2020, school to be a point of celebration and honor for the whole community. The dignity of the school is an institution to be restored, and important dates, such as the foundation day of the school, will be celebrated along with the community, and the list of important alumni may be displayed and honored. Furthermore, the unutilized capacity of school infrastructure could be used to promote social, intellectual, and volunteer activities for the community and to promote social cohesion during non-teaching schooling hours, and may be used as a Samajak Chetna Kendra. 238. SARTHAQ Students and Teachers Holistic Advancement Through Quality Education. The Department of School Education and Literacy has developed an indicative and suggestive implementation plan for school education. This implementation plan delineates the roadmap and way forward for implementation of NEP 2020 for the next 10 years, which is very important for its smooth and effective implementation. States and UTs are given the flexibility to adapt this plan with local contextualization and also modify as per their needs and requirements. Available at web links part 1_updated. PDF Glossary of Educational Terminologies Definitions commonly used in school education. 100. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 239. School Bag Policy. School Bag Policy 2020 covers all the students ranging from pre-primary classes to class 12 in all the schools. As per the policy, school shall offer 2 languages and mathematics in classes I and 2 in 2 languages, mathematics and environmental studies in classes 3, IV and V. School shall offer 3 languages, mathematics, science and social science in classes V to 8. Subjects such as computer studies, moral education and general knowledge, life skills, etc. need to be infused across subject areas and other activities in the school without additional textbooks. Health and physical education, work experience and sports and arts education are the areas which help in the all-round development of children. These need to be given adequate space in the timetable. Children should not be made to carry any textbook for these areas. Web links PDF Final %20 School %20 Bag %20 Policy %200 2020 PDF 240 School Management Committee SMC. The School Management Committee SMC, constituted under the Right to Education Act 2009, plays an important role in ensuring accountability in India's education system, especially in government schools. The Act envisions the SMC as a decentralized governance model which empowers them to keep track and monitor functioning of the schools and oversee that the school grants are used effectively. SMCs consist of representatives of the local authority, parents or guardians of students, and the principal and teachers at the school. 3/4 of SMC members must be parents or guardians and half must be women. 241. School Health Ambassador Initiative. The School Health Ambassador Initiative aims to foster growth, development and educational achievements of school-going children by promoting their health and well-being. It also aims to strengthen the concept of preventive, promotive and positive health, which forms a fundamental part of the health and wellness centers of the Ayushman Bharat scheme. 242. Shagun Online Junction. School Education Shagun is an initiative to improve the school education system. The initiative involves creating a junction for all portals and websites of the Department of School Education in the Government of India and all states and union territories (UTs). Through this platform, one can learn about the schemes and their comprehensive monitoring, go through how the outcomes are measured with the help of an objective evaluation process and appreciate the best practices in the schools all over the country. 243. Shikshak Parv. Shiksha Parv is being celebrated by the Ministry of Education from the 5th to the 17th of September to recognize the contributions of teachers and to take new education policy NEP 2020 a step forward. Glossary of Educational Terminologies, Definitions commonly used in school education. 101. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 244. Social Audit. Social audit guidelines have been developed by the Ministry of Education for checking, monitoring and verification of the implementation of the interventions of Samagra Shiksha would be facilitated by social audit. This audit is to be carried out by the community and the entire Gram Sabha with the help of stakeholders like the local authority, SMC members, SHGs, youth clubs, etc. The norms of Samagra Shiksha also emphasize careful monitoring of provisions of gender and inclusion. This audit will help in ensuring transparency and accountability at all levels. Link of document PDF 245. State Center for Literacy (SCL). There will be a State Center for Literacy (SCL) at the state level housed in the SCERT. The broader mandate of SCL is to develop customized teaching learning materials for learners for all 5 components, including state unique material as per requirement, e.g., for tribal groups to impart training of district trainers, etc. The SCL will consist of at least 1 or 2 faculty experts chosen from among the existing faculty to lead the cell. 246. Swachh Vidyalay Puraskar (SVP). The Department of School Education and Literacy instituted the Swachh Vidyalay Puraskar (SVP) in 2016-17 to recognize, inspire and celebrate excellence in sanitation and hygiene practice in schools. The purpose of the SVP is to honor schools that have undertaken significant steps towards fulfilling the mandate of the Swachh Vidyalay campaign. SVP is based on IT-enabled assessment of wash infrastructure, hygienic practices, and COVID-19 appropriate behavior. Available at web links. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 102. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. 247. Tithi Bhojan, an initiative started with an aim to provide additional nutrition to children studying in schools. Under this program, community provides full meal or additional items on special occasions, birthdays, marriages, anniversaries, days of national importance and other festivals etc. 248. Vidya Dan, a program aims to source high-quality content in a controlled manner leading to diversity in content. This allows individuals and organizations to contribute learning resources that are used by students and teachers across the country. 20+ center and state education organizations have leveraged this, and 2 lakh plus rich and diverse digital learning contents have been contributed from 11K plus contributors. 249. Vidya Amrit portal for pedagogical initiatives by teachers. Micro-improvements cater to the objective of making the improvement process easy, simple, and achievable for every teacher and leader in the education system. The approach uses the learning by doing concept. Micro-improvements are enabled through digital projects and are available to leaders at all levels through the National Infrastructure for Education (Diksha). This is aligned to the Learn, Do, Practice of NDEAR Building Block 9 under the Manage Learn scenario for administrator persona. Link of website, web links. 250. Yoga Olympiad. The National Yoga Olympiad is being organized jointly by the Ministry of Education and the National Council of Educational Research and Training (NCERT). Yoga has been integrated as an essential component of health and physical education. The objectives of conducting Yoga Olympiad is to develop an understanding of yogic practices and apply this understanding accordingly in one's life and living, to develop a healthy habit and lifestyle in children, to develop humane values in children, and to develop physical, emotional, and mental health through yogic activities. The Olympiad has been conducted at block, district, state and national levels, in all government and government-aided schools of India. Glossary of educational terminologies, definitions commonly used in school education. 104. Shiksha Shabdkosh at 2022. Mentors. Anita Karwal, Secretary, Department of School Education and Literacy, Ministry of Education. Vipin Kumar, Joint Secretary, Samagra Shiksha, Department of School Education and Literacy, Ministry of Education. Developed and compiled by Rashi Sharma, Director, Samagra Shiksha, Department of School Education and Literacy, Ministry of Education. Purabhi Pattanayak, Chief Consultant, Samagra Shiksha Department of School Education and Literacy, Ministry of Education.